down the middle. 27-24 with 2:36 remaining. The Rams have a field goal lead, and they'll trust their defense against Tom Brady.
That's right. You knew what was coming, didn't you? I did too, except it didn't come. That's right. The Rams pissed away opportunity after, can I say that? Opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, all second half. Chance after chance, Jared Goff giving the ball away, as Jared Goff is prone to do, and kept giving it back to Tommy. But the Rams' defense kept holding up. And at some point, you knew you were going to give it back to Tommy one too many times. And Tommy was going to take his team down the field. And Tommy was going to come back and steal another game and put another notch in Tommy's belt and put another come-from-behind victory on Tommy's resume. And it didn't happen because Jordan Fuller picked off an overthrow. Good night now. Ram it in Tampa Bay. What's up, y'all? Merry Tuesday, and it's a good Tuesday indeed. Rams win 27-24 over the Buccaneers. Aw, yeah, buddy. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah's producing on the radio side. Alden and Jay Paul on the visual medium on ProView Networks. You can watch us on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM, and on ProViewNetworks.com. Jared Goff threw 51 passes last night. 39 for 51, 376 yards, 2 interceptions, but 3 touchdown passes in a big win. It was a big game going in for positioning in the NFC. I think for credibility, stability in the NFC, and the Rams defense was terrific. Pressuring Tommy, making him get the ball. Now, he had drops. Leonard Fournette dropped the ball all evening. But the Rams got to Tommy. And as much as you thought that Tommy was going to be there, and I did. I mean, there was no doubt in my mind. My text was going crazy. And my favorite play, by the way, we're going to get into his double pass, which was so Phil Mickelson-esque to me. It was unbelievable. But as much as we all thought Tommy was going to have another comeback in him, he didn't, and the Rams win. What's up, JJ Buck?
I was not as sold on the Tommy comeback as you are because of how nasty the defensive lines both ways were last night, but specifically of the Rams. And Tommy made some bad throws. Give me a break. Drops, they happen. How about that last interception? How about the interception with pressure in his face where he overthrows the receiver down the middle? This was all about the Los Angeles Rams. Tom Brady is that dude. You get pressure on him up the middle, it's going to be a long night. We've seen it all year long. Look at the games against the Saints. Look at what happened against the Chicago Bears. And last night, the Rams are the perfect example. With Aaron Donald in the middle, they don't have to bring a lot of extra guys. So you can drop back and play coverage and put Tom Brady in those bad situations. And that's what we saw. Even in a close game where all they had to do was get in field goal range to tie it, to get into overtime, still couldn't get it done. It was A-plus Rams defensive line.
If they were playing the Broncos, would you be certain that that Tommy was going to come back? If you were vested a little bit in the game, if it was against your team, wouldn't you know that he was coming back to beat him?
I'm sure I'd have a different feeling if they were playing the Broncos, but it was the defensive line that had my mindset of what the Rams were doing last night.
They only sacked him one time. But they did pressure him all day, and the last ball was an overthrow. And then he got away with a fumble. By the way, how does he get every call? That wasn't a fumble? That wasn't an open hand coming forward?
I'm agreeing with you. I'm shaking my head in disbelief that it
I see you. Yeah. I got on the little group message goodie, and that's a fumble. But he gets every call. No, fumble. Rams are going to have it. Wait till the commercial comes back, and incomplete pass. And I'm looking at him like, how? But it's that guy. It's Tommy. He gets every break. But that's a big win for the Rams. That's a statement win for the Rams on a couple fronts. And I'll give it to you on their defense, because I thought their defense was terrific the whole second half. Offensively, what they did when they had to. And when it's amazing how they stall often during the second half of games. And I'm not really sure I understand why. And it's hard for me to go anywhere other than Jared Goff on this. I guess he had one drop, and there was a big play that led to a field goal attempt, and it was the one that they missed. And nobody's going to talk about it. Robert Woods caught the ball right at the mark. I mean, just fall forward on second down, and you have the first down. And he backed up 2 yards, tried to dance, and it ends up 3rd and 2. They don't get the third down. They go for a field goal, and they miss the field goal. And I thought that was going to be a huge moment in the game right there. I really, really did. It did turn out to be. It didn't turn out to be decisive, but it turned out to be big. But I don't understand sometimes why the Rams offense stalls so regularly for 3 to 4 drives at a time. And look, I'm going to give a lot of credit now to that Tampa Bay defense because they've been really good a lot of this year. They've been really good. But you look at times the drives that Ram offense had, and you're like, dang, they got a lot of weapons. And the way he's using Cooper Kupp, and they didn't even run the ball. I mean, they didn't. I think both teams had under 60 yards rushing. But either way, big win for the Rams.
Yeah, the running game is a reason that it felt awkward at times. The Rams had 37 yards rushing. The Buccaneers had 42 yards rushing. So I think that goes to why it felt like both teams, especially in the second half, were stalling out because they didn't have that element. They had to execute every pass play or tunnel screen or whatever it may be to move the football because they weren't doing it on the ground.
Yeah, the Rams ran the ball for 37 yards. Malcolm Brown was their leading rusher, 3 carries for 20. And the Buccaneers, as you said, 42 yards. Rojo at 24. Fournette was really a non-factor yesterday. And so Jared Goff threw 51 times, and Tommy threw it 48 times. So big picture, because I think that's a huge win for the Rams. A big picture, I think it puts the Buccaneers solidly as a road wild card team in the playoffs, right? And for the Rams, it keeps them in the hunt for the NFC West with games to go that really are going to make a difference for them. But them having coming up, they beat the last 2 games, and I guess you can go back to 3 of the last 4. They beat the Bears, lost that game in Miami, and then beat the Seahawks and the Buccaneers. I think that's a pretty tough schedule. And I know nobody's buying into the Bears, but they went on the road and beat the Bears when the Bears we thought maybe they were good. Now it's games against the 49ers, the Cardinals on the road, New England, and the Jets before finishing off with Seattle and the Cardinals. What does it say about the Rams to you?
They're a team that checks both boxes, and there's very few of those in the NFL right now. Teams that you believe can win a game based on their defense and their offense. And I know at times, you can be hot or cold on Jared Goff, but good Jared Goff in that offense is really explosive. Now that they have a 3 wide receiver set that they can rely on, Josh Reynolds over the last 3 to 4 weeks has been really good. He was quiet last night, but then you just look at the ridiculous numbers that Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp had. And then the running back rotation, it's frustrating they had a bad night, but that's when I will give credit to Tampa Bay. Both those defensive lines were fantastic, but it's the point that it's a committee get by at whatever it takes approach. And the Rams not just put themselves in a really strong position to finish out atop the NFC West, they just came back in New Orleans and they stay in that race. And we fell in love with Taysom Hill, which is still a really good performance beating the Atlanta Falcons. But who knows when that offense has a hiccup in the next week or two, opens the door right there for the Rams to step in. Muted.
You muted, Jeff?
Yeah, it's a big win. Big win for LA. To go on the road, to beat that team, to beat that guy, to do it on national TV, and to do it in the manner in which they did it and have to hold on and hold off Tommy. And I think that's a big deal. All right, we got a lot of show for you today. 505-246-0610 is how to get in. 505-246-0610. Emails jeff@610knml.com. JJ@610knml.com. Follow JJ on the Facebook. It's @_ JJ Bucket on the Twitter, and on the Facebook, the OD in the AM. 8:30 this morning, Brandon Mason's going to be with us. JJ, you and I talked briefly on the text yesterday about this squad, and I think Lobo fans, we'll talk about this next, Lobo fans are going to be really impressed and I think looking forward to and hope that the basketball tournament happens this summer because the roster that is put together by Brandon Mason, the former Lobo assistant coach, the guy who played basketball in New Mexico State, who played for Michael Cooper and the T-Birds, and he's Mr. Basketball, really, in New Mexico in some respects. He's going to join us at 8:30. But, JJ, coming up next, who is committed to this team? I really think Lobo fans are going to be looking forward to this. That's next. It's the opening drive on ProView Networks at 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Titus and Tate break down all you.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
It's his second field goal. He's got 4 points. Watson, though, goes all the way.
Hit the deck, I should say. Cordova trying to throw it off Romero. A 3 for...
Set out to Jutapia. Nice move behind his back. It's a good... Here's Ramos. Step back. High arcing. 20! But he needed to get his leg back under him. Ooh, a little kick.
They leave it one more time. Two-hand hammer. Up top! Yes, and the finish for Akbayosi. Saved into the hands of Riak, ahead of the pack to Davina Lovato. Up high, down hard for Akbayosi. Out of the corner, Casals, the 3-0, Katenge! Let me clean up the mess! He dropped out of the rafters for that one, Steve.
Dorian over. Did he get in?
Yeah, they got in. He got
Touchdown.
Goff breaks the huddle, puts Akers on his left, calls for it from the shotgun. Back to throw, swings it left. It's Akers who takes it in. The catch at the 1 and the touchdown in front of Kevin Minter, the linebacker. Van Jefferson first. Now Cam Akers with his first touchdown as a Ram. And LA is back on the high side, 23-17.
And LA stayed on the high side, 27-24. That was Rams Radio, your final last night on a Monday Night Football that you heard here on your home for the National Football League, 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Jared Goff threw for 376 yards. Tommy threw the ball 48 times. Is that right? Only 216 yards on 48 pass attempts for Tommy. He was picked off twice. JJ, so a play that may go underreported, may go under talked about. Ball gets batted back at Tom Brady. It was right. It was a third down play. First of all, I don't understand the ruling on it. I don't know how you can have a completed pass on a illegal forward pass, but I thought it was a loss of down and they back it up. But anyway, Leonard Fournette drops it past the flat. Then it's third down and long. The ball gets batted back right into Tom Brady's hands, and he knows better. And you could just see he just throws it again. It was a completed pass. I texted you. It reminded me of Phil Mickelson, another all-time great in his sport, at the U.S. Open a few years back when he was so frustrated on the greens that he knew what he was doing was illegal, and he just went up and putted a moving ball before it stopped, before it rolled down the hill, and had to do it again and took his 2-stroke penalty. Tommy knew, I couldn't do this. I'm just so damn frustrated. I'll just take my penalty and move on. You get any of that?
Yes. How it worked is the Rams wanted it to be fourth down instead of third down.
So they took fourth and two.
They had the option to decline the penalty, and you actually get the yardage with that illegal pass, which is just shocking. But it also says everything you need to know, that in that situation, late game, that the Rams would rather have them in a 4th and 2 and know they're not going to go for it. Like, they're having such a long night, they're just going to sit back and punt, which is why you get that wild situation of a completed double pass from Tom Brady. But that frustration, once again, goes back to that Rams defense, man. And that's why I just wasn't as sold. Yes, I get it. It's the great Tom Brady, GOAT status. He ain't that same dude this year, even with all those weapons. Look at what he's done in primetime. And because he's played good teams in primetime, good defenses, he's 1-3 on the season. That's a legitimate concern with Tom Brady. They're still a good football team. Tom Brady's not done. He's not falling off a cliff after last night, but it shows you there's defenses in this league now more so than ever that can really get under his skin, even when he has a ridiculous amount of weapons around him.
Dan on the line.
All right. I think, yes. I still thought he was going to come back and win that game. I still thought he was coming back. He's still Tom Brady.
Because it's that little Rams fan in your heart. You just didn't want to be hurt, so you're building those walls like, oh, no, what's going to happen, and Tom Brady's going to win.
If that was a Broncos game, you wouldn't have felt the same way?
Oh, I would have felt a little bit different, but did you just see what they did to Tua Tagovailoa? We ain't scared of Tom Brady.
The Rams did to Tua? I mean, Tua beat
But
well.
the Broncos
Tua didn't beat
did.
him. Oh,
They
with the Broncos
benched him.
Yeah, they benched him. I want to get into that, too, if that was the right thing. All right, 505-246-0610. Dan, you're up first. Good morning, Dan. You are on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Good day, sir.
Jeff, come on. You were hoping that Brady would throw an interception every time or get put on his butt every time, right? Be honest now.
Well, sure. Well, was I hoping? I mean, there's a difference between what you're hoping and what you're expecting.
Hoping. No. You were hoping.
Yeah, that's right.
Jeff, well, how you feeling in first in the NFC today? How you feeling?
I like first place. I think the Rams are in a good spot. Yeah, I think Rams are in a good spot.
Okay, buddy. Well, I just wanted to congratulate you.
Just checking in on me.
Enjoy it while you can, there, big brother.
That's right. I got Howard sent me a note before it started. Oh, whatever, Jeff. I'm betting against the Rams. I want money, and I'm like, all right, enjoy losing. All right, Howie, you got it. See, enjoy your losing.
Congratulations, brother. We got us a heck of a season going this year in the NFC, bro.
Yep, last 2 weeks,
Ram. Towards the end.
It'll be a good time. No, it's good. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, Dan.
You too, brother. You too.
See you.
Bye-bye.
505-246-0610. Now, that's a big Seahawk fan right there. And I think, look, I've said it since the beginning. Oh, damn, I picked 3 games this week. I told you I get bad advice this week. Gave everybody bad advice. I said it, week 3? Arizona wins in San Francisco. We didn't realize that wasn't going to mean much. But it seemed like a big deal at the beginning. I thought the NFC West, best division. I don't even think it's arguable. Do you? I mean, there's not an argument on this, is there?
No, there's 3 legitimate teams in there. If the 49ers are healthy, you have a different feeling about them. But no doubt I think the Rams, like I said, check both boxes. Like the Cardinals offense, like the Seahawks offense, still explosive, can play with anyone. Yes, NFC West is the best right now.
Well, look at what Seattle's defense has done the last couple of weeks. And the one team that you don't consider one of the best was in the Super Bowl last year, right? You got 3 teams that are really good. Oh, and that other team was in the Super Bowl last year. That's what we got. All right. I told you this going in. We'll talk more football. We're going to get more into last night's game. We'll talk more NFL. I want to get into Lobos and Utah State and what Danny Gonzalez had to say yesterday on his presser. Brandon Mason's going to be with us at 8:30 this morning, the former Lobo assistant, the former Aggie player, the former T-Bird, the former lot of things. JJ, I think this is really cool. And so he's doing a lot of things since he's left the Lobos. He just got done. He took a bunch of high school basketball players over to a showcase in Phoenix so they could get noticed, and he's helping, especially in a year where there's no high school basketball, and so he's helping these young players, get noticed, find a place. But he's also put together a roster, and for those who aren't familiar with the basketball tournament, this is, and you're more into this than I certainly, but it's a team or a tournament, 24 teams, winner take all, $1.2 million. They play it this over the summer.
TBT. So I don't know the exact number. It's going on for a little while now. You see alumni squads. You see a lot of guys that are playing professionally overseas, and they come together, put these teams, and play for. It started out with $1 million prize. Now it's up to $2 million. This past year's was a 24 team tournament, and just given the fact everything that's going on, so they were actually bubbled, played the tournament this year, did all the testing required, and it's one that's been a lot of fun because, like I said, you get a lot of these alumni teams, and this is something that I have been waiting for, and it's finally happening.
Yeah, we looked at the squad and we're like, all right, well, this is pretty impressive. So it's mostly a Lobo squad that everybody's got ties to New Mexico, whether it's high school, whether it's whatever it is. It's going to be coached by Michael Cooper, first of all, which is impressive in its own right because Coop has been so terrific. He himself, alumni of the University of New Mexico. But you start looking down the names, and if they can all play, JJ, this is a team. I mean, Alex Kirk is still playing and doing really well overseas. J.R. Giddens says he can still play. Tim Williams, Cameron Bairstow was in the NBA recently. Drew Gordon, Tony Dandridge, Kendall Williams, Anthony Mathis, Antono Jackson, Jamal Smith, and Darrington Hobson, and with 3 guys that weren't Lobos, but and Pancake Thomas, Wendell McKinnis, who. You know this. He was one of my favorite Aggies of the last decade and a half, right? As far as I watched the growth in him from freshman to senior, I thought he was as fierce a rebounder as there was down in this region. DeAndre Lansdowne, who played at San Diego High School and played at Fort Lewis, and his first year, JJ, middle school at Madison, or maybe it was the second year, we got to coach him, and we knew he was terrific then. And then a young man named Scott Banforth, who played at Weber State after playing at Del Norte. So, look, I don't know if can they win or not, but I look at it and I'm like, damn, I'm listening.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And if you haven't watched the tournament or been familiar with it, it will surprise you the level of basketball and the dudes that participate. Like I said, because it's a lot of guys that because they were college stars, but they've ended up having a career overseas. And the team that won it last year was a Marquette alumni squad, and we're talking Darius Johnson-Odom, Dwight Bikes, Derek Wilson, guys that were really good in college, had a cup of tea in the NBA, but are playing overseas. And you have Boeheim's Army, all kinds of Scarlet and Silver. So you have Ohio State alumni. It is a ton of fun. I've been waiting for the last few years to see a UNM and or combo squads. You got the Aggie reinforcements in this roster. I know it's something that Alex Kirk talked about when we had him on over the summer, and you're just kind of waiting for that right moment to have the pieces in place. You announced the roster because some of these guys are going to end up not being available with potential things that come up in their contract. That's actually what happened to Alex Kirk a couple years ago. He was going to play on a TBT team, and his team in Japan said, "No, we're not cool with that." So you just pretty much have a big roster of players available in situations like that. And I saw the reaction on social media last night. The Lobo fans are really excited. I think this is going to be a lot of fun because you have guys like J.R. Giddens. You see it. It was comments. He's like, "Yeah, I'm coaching right now, but I'm going to remind you, I still got something a little bit left." He stepped away for the coaching opportunity, not necessarily because he didn't feel he had any game left.
Well, this will be appointment viewing for Lobo fan, assuming that COVID and everything it happens. It's going to be midsummer. Last year they bubbled it. This year we'll see where it goes. Craig Snow and Corey Alford are going to be on the staff with Michael Cooper, and then Ryan Behrman and Doris Gary and Roman Martinez, Kenny Thomas are all involved with this. So this is exciting. And we're going to talk with Brandon coming up at 8:30 about how he put this together. Remember, Brandon's the one who was really responsible for those alumni games. Remember those 2 summers in a row? God, it feels like forever now, but it was, what was it, about 4, 5, 6 years ago, where he put together those New Mexico State alumni games, which I told you the second one, and you didn't make that one, right? And I came back and I told you that was the best Lobo Aggie game I had seen in a decade. It was at the Pit.
I might have missed the second one.
Yeah, it was maybe I don't. All I know is I remember coming back and saying that was the best Lobo Aggie game I'd seen in a decade. And so we'll talk with Brandon coming up at 8:30 because I think this is something that's really, really exciting. Lobo football is excited. They're playing at Utah State. What's going to be a little bit different for them, and what happens in the conversations when a game gets canceled for COVID and you're watching games being tried to put together. We asked Danny Gonzalez that yesterday. It wasn't on this show, it was in his press conference, and I want to talk about how that's going because I think that's such a phenomenon right now, and it's something like we've never seen before. So I want to get into that next. We're on ProView Networks in the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Lovato driving. They're going to count it. Gallegos. Ooh, a little spin and a finish. Natalia Chavez, good spin. Takes a.
Ramos, nice jump stop too.
Maybe gambling a little bit. Oh, there's that.
Hill, little step, high window.
Got the second.
To the middle. Here we go. 3.9. It's Cooper's going to run with it. Cooper's going to swing it out to Lowry. Lowry. Portillo couldn't get it off, and Clovis goes in. It's waved off. He did not get it off in time. Portillo. Reverse layup. Gallegos spins. Window. Finishes.
There's a run coming from
Lazy pass. Here comes Crawford. It might be showtime.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Shoot. They'll get one off, and it'll count high off the window.
Oh my gosh.
Here's the long three.
Boom.
Bang. Martinez will beat the buzzer. Got it to go.
Fork driving kick. Three's in the air. It's good.
Nice pass on the nice block by Hernandez Cropper.
And Brown in the transition. But why not, Steve? Is Corbalan's going to go and he puts it away. And Corbalan wants to put it down. But here comes Las Cruces. Brown, you can't leave him alone. Put it down.
Gershon in transitions, 3-on-2. Gershon gonna go all the way. Whoa, Morgan!
JJ, 4 o'clock pregame show, 5 o'clock kickoff over on News Radio KKOB against Utah State. Tavaka Tuioti, we do not know if he will play or not. JJ asked the question. We had him. Danny was on with us yesterday, and then there was a press conference after practice yesterday. JJ asked the question, is Tavaka going to play? Did he play today? Meaning yesterday in practice, and the answer was no, which, JJ, I'm not going to lie, it surprised me a little bit that Tavaka didn't practice yesterday.
It did, but I think there's a situation where there's lingering effects that are obviously frustrating for the team, but he's not at a point medically where he's cleared to take the field.
Yeah. I think Will Weber asked him about what did he think about being a favorite? That a team that's lost 19 conference games in a row, 13 in a row. And what was his response? I think they're crazy. Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said they're crazy, but hopefully they are right. And what I loved about his response is, he put out the disclaimer, like, none of this matters, but he knew the line started as UNM 4.5-point favorites, and it was bet up to 5.
Yeah. And he says, I watch it, and he gave the two sites that he kind of watches it, and he watches what the public bets and what the trends are, and he says, I don't bet the games, of course not, but I watch it and I know what's going on, and it's a respect thing, I imagine, for him and those sorts of things, but he's certainly well aware of what the lines are. I think he talked about a lot of different things, but he went on quite a bit, and it's like he didn't want to be done. It felt like, JJ, and he's like, all right, any more questions? And I appreciate it. We're going to bring this back, and I think he feels he needs to win a game, huh? Okay. Jess's call yesterday, where I've heard all this before, and I told you after Jess called yesterday, you know what, though? I'm going to give this guy a little bit more slack. I'm going to give this coach, A, because he obviously wants to be here, B, they're completely changing it, C, this coaching staff has had success everywhere they've gone doing things this way, and D, the absolute anomaly of what this season is and doing everything away from home and being based out of a hotel in a different state, I'm going to give them a little bit more slack. And also, my eye test tells me they're getting better. Now, I got it that they took a step back on Saturday past a game, or Friday last week against Air Force, but I think Danny's starting to feel all right because he said something there. You can say all you want, but at some point, I know people want to see results.
I do think that says a lot about what this team has been able to do, and he acknowledged it too. He's like, he wants people to be upset. He wants people to be unhappy because they cared, and there was an element that creeped into people's minds that this could be the streak breaker. Even a Friday night at Air Force, a place that going into the game they've lost their last 8 games at, but you've seen enough on both sides of the football where this team is playing better. They've been in 1-possession games the last 2 times out, and then Lobo fans had their heart broken because it was a bad performance. It was 28-0, but they've built enough even this short amount of time where you have that belief, and you haven't felt that way watching this team play a conference game in quite some time because, yeah, it's a 12-game conference losing streak now for the Lobos, but having that hurt means people care, and Danny's on board with that. He wants people to be upset. He wants people to feel the same way he does after a loss, and it's something that he's really trying to get through to his team. But it's what we know about sports. Athletes and coaches, losing hurts more than winning feels good.
Always. Yeah, always does. He said something in there that I've been saying since I've been doing sports talk radio. I say players make plays. He said players win games. And I know probably you get sick of me saying that. And I don't know that I've even said that much recently. But it's certainly been one of my biggest keys when we start having conversations about coaches and how good, how bad, how successful, how unsuccessful coaches are. We have that conversation. Because I firmly believe that players make plays. Did Bruce Arians lose that game last night? Well, I mean, he takes the loss, or did guys not make a plays for the Buccaneers? Did Danny lose the game? I mean, yeah, coaches lose game, and he's taking all the credit for it. He says players win games, but coaches can lose games. Okay. But to me, players got to make plays, and I've heard a lot, Jeff. They're just kids. They're just college players, and yeah, okay. But if they're going to stand there and bask in the glory after a win, there's got to be some responsibility when they don't make plays. That's always been my feeling at this level, and this is a question I've asked, and I still don't know that I've got the answer. Since midsummer, is this roster filled with guys who can do it? We've talked about Rocky Long's defense. Does he have the players that can do it? Does he have what he needs offensively to be able to do whatever it is that they want to do? And now we've got an idea. And I know he's going to go to bat for his guys. He's saying we're good enough. Absolutely, we're good enough. We've got talent. Our guys are good enough. But I wonder, JJ, at that point, are they good enough? Now, are they good enough to beat Utah State this weekend? They should be, I think. But yes. As far as do what it is they want to do, that's where this is a long-winded thing to go into. Jess's thing yesterday, it's going to take a little while.
They are good enough to beat Utah State. Utah State is a disaster right now. We'll keep saying it because it's true. They dismissed their starting quarterback. The dude behind him had 10 career pass attempts, and then Danny doubled down and said 33 career snaps is what they've charted on the backup quarterback at Utah State. The Lobos defense, that's where they have a lot of talent infusion needed, but also the scheme. It's really complicated, and they're not going to hide that. And Rocky's said that he's not going to cut any corners. They're make in-game adjustments, but they're going to go out there with their scheme and give these guys everything week in and week out to learn the way they want to play defense. Offensively, they can compete against Utah State, no problem. It was bad against Air Force. But I look at what Derek Wareheim is running, and I think it meshes well. It gives them a good enough opportunity to compete on Thursday.
Yeah, I think defensively this week is going to be really interesting because they should be able to confuse. They should be able to get at this young quarterback. They should, you sit here and say, okay, I think they should be able to do something. But I just, I wonder, and Jess's call's been ringing in my head a little bit. Are we just buying into another thing? And I firmly believe no. I firmly disagree with where he was going yesterday. And I don't think there's a lot of people who are on board with where Jess is. Do you? I haven't heard a lot of that. I mean, I know there's some.
There's always, when you look at the amount of people, there's always going to be some. And you saw a little bit of it, and you notice the outliers at times, like the people that were just so ready to see, the I told you so crew never in on Lobo football. What a joke. Y'all thought they can compete at Air Force. But the majority believe in the future and think, this group, the investment, and get back to competing in the Mountain West, potentially, push a really difficult division that still has that team up there in normal years that you got to beat, and that's Boise State.
Yeah. All right. 505-246-0610 is how to get in. I really, where are you with Lobos in Utah State this weekend, but more so the state of where the Lobos are, and certainly 0-4 is where they are, but we can have that conversation. Chris Jans also had a little press conference yesterday, the New Mexico State basketball coach. I thought that was interesting as well. They've got a Donate for State program going, and I want to talk to that because Mario Mocha sent me an email with all the details on the Donate for State program, and he said, Steve Kaplowitz, Cap, that's what he called him, he's Cap was having fun with it on the air, and I want to make sure you have it. He's a sports talk guy down in El Paso, and I'm like, if Cap did it, of course, Mario. But I'll let you know what it's all about, and what Chris Jans had to say, because they got a game coming up this week, does New Mexico State. College basketball season starts tomorrow. It's the opening drive. We're on ProView Networks at 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Moreno extra pass. And Watson. Out with it. Gallegos, and he's going to run all the way. Window, yes. Able to get out of it. How did he find Battle? It's to Cunningham, and it.
Ramos was handling.
Ramos puts it up, beats the buzzer.
Boy, Jefferson wide open.
Jefferson to Daraji. Into Watson with the jam.
Far ball again. Another steal by Davino Lovato, and here comes Agbaiosi. Lob, two-hand hammer. You knew that was coming. The lob to Agbaiosi, the one-hand hammer.
Put up. And a drive from Parham. Another!
Opportunity here. Martinez shoots, he scores. Cut into it. Had some nice looks at the rim. Win. Inside. They're not going to miss this one. Two-hand hammer from Murillo. Ball's played up. Rodriguez with it. going to settle. Looks to the inside, comes to the far side post. Shot on and goal, deflected in. No.
Dorian's going to go all the way. It was blocked by the rim. Get it out, says Kobe Wade. Ramos, got it. Look out. Ramos, can he chase it down? It was a freebie. Saved it. And then stolen. And somehow Hasbury's got it back. Handoff. Watson.
Get it stripped. Danion stripped him. Come Highland the other way. Win up top to the big goal. Here he comes.
For the lead. Got it.
What a great game plan. Look at this.
Agbayosi throws it down.
Let's see if Melfi can cash it in. He's got some protection. Deep ball. Erickson's open. Touchdown, Monarchs.
Second and 10. Smith looking, and he's going to fire over the middle, and he's got his guy, and it's another big play. Walking away for a touchdown, Tristan Altier.
Going to hand it off to Chavez. Chavez breaking tackles. Look out. Chavez up the sideline. Stays in bounds. Touchdown. Volcanovic.
That replay,
I got you.
Measurement. I mean,
Smith's got a fire on first down, and he's on the outside. There's a lot of room for Brad Thomas. A move, and he's set free. Dance into the end zone. Touchdown. So it goes.
He'll run with it. Stumbling. Gets down into the end zone. And looking to throw it. And he throws it in the end zone. Caught!
First and 10 from the 11.
This is an interesting take on the whole thing, and this is one where I'm going to ask you a question back, but the email came in from James, and he says on Danny, and this is the guy who calls him Danny Gonzalez, so he's out. Like, James is out from the beginning. He wants nothing to do with him. He says, Jeff, people didn't like Craig Neal despite a decent amount of success because he blamed players, so Danny Gonzalez is getting a pass because he says it's my fault before blaming the players. He asks, it's a question. It's from James. I'm like, James, so what getting a pass for what? This is what I'm going to ask you. Like, what did you expect? This isn't a guy who took over a team that won a bowl game last year, let alone a conference championship, and is gone 0-4. This is a guy who took over a team that won 4 games over the last 2 years. And, JJ, if I'm not mistaken, right, all 4 of those games were either New Mexico State or their FCS opponent, correct? The last 2 seasons? Okay, so they haven't beaten anybody besides an FCS school in New Mexico State for now 2.5 seasons. So I'm not sure what it is you expected out of this. And so I'm literally asking you for a response on this. Getting a pass for what? Do your eyes not tell you that they're playing better, that this is a more competitive football club? They haven't won. You're right. And if they win this weekend, I know you've already got your email sent. Well, they beat a UTAG team who's fired their coach and fired their quarterback and played whatever. But JJ, the people who were on that train right there, what did they expect? Getting a pass? Danny gets a pass for what?
You wonder if they're ever going to be back in or were ever in on Lobo football. They were 3-9, 2-10 the last 2 seasons. So they beat UNLV 2 years ago, and they haven't won a Mountain West game since.
It's 19 straight conference games, 13 straight losses, right?
Yes.
All right. And yeah, 4 of those he has to wear. He has to wear the last 4, and I get it. I'm not sure what it is that you feel he's getting a pass for, and obviously when you say this, there's nothing that he can do that's going to be okay by you, and I'm wondering why. Like what did he do that you think he's a con man? Coaches talk, dude. A, because we want them to, and B, they're promoting their program. So that's part of what coaches do. We have them on our program every Monday. That's what they do. So is that a con job because they're talking? I don't know. We've had this conversation plenty of times. Coaches got to go out and they do. JJ, what do we decide? It's like 7 to 9 media sessions per week. I mean, damn. Yeah, they're going to say stuff. But what kind of con job is he trying to put on you? He's telling you what he wants it to be. I think what they have done has proven successful. I don't even know. Yeah, they're 0-4. But how do you argue the success that he has had where he's been, other than to tell me it wasn't his? If you want to argue, well, it was Coach Long and Rocky Long and Herm Edwards. And what has he done? Well, he's been the defensive coordinator of pretty successful systems. I guess I don't understand where that's coming from and where it's rooted.
I understand your questioning of said statement because what I've seen so far has been better than I expected. I had a low bar this season. It's year 1 and a team that won 5 games the last 2 years. I had a weird offseason, yes, just like everyone else. When you're talking about installing a brand new defense, installing a brand new offense, that's stuff that takes time. That's stuff that you need repetition, and you didn't get a lot of that until just a couple weeks before the season started. And so ultimately where I'm at with this team is I am pleasantly surprised. Yeah, they're still making mistakes because they're not a good football team. They're 0-4, and they're far from a good football team at this point in time. But I did not think they'd be in a position at all this season to be in a one-possession game at Hawaii, to be in a one-possession game at Nevada. We see now how good San Jose State has become. It was 21-21 in the third quarter. All right, I outscored 17-0 the rest of the way. But these are games that just last year or the year before in 42-7, in 45-10, and that's not happening.
2 minutes.
I'm not telling you that they've been playing Alabama, but your point on the schedule is right. San Jose State's 5-0, one of the undefeateds left. Hawaii played the conference championship game last year. Nevada's 5-0, and a team that just beat San Diego State, and a team that a lot of people believe may be the best in the league this year with an NFL potential quarterback and absolutely an NFL receiver. And then the team that beat them last week was an 11-win team last year. So I'm not the excuses probably run out this week, right? I mean, against Utah State. Here's a team that's scuffling like you are, fired their coach, quarterback was dismissed. At some point you got to win. James, I'm going to ask you, when you ask me, is he getting a pass? Getting a pass for what? For losing? What did you expect? If that's what he's getting a pass for, I'm going to ask you what you expected. And when you watch this with your eyes, if you do you not see this team as being better and more competitive than it was last year? That's all. I don't know how you look at that team, JJ, and fine, if you want to tell me last week, but even last week, they lost 28-0. They were more competitive. No, I don't even know how you look at it and say no.
They were. Like I said, that easily could have been double that if it wasn't, the defense able to adjust and make some big-time plays in that third quarter.
Yeah. All right, I'll get into the New Mexico State stuff next. 505-246-0610. The Aggies play a basketball game. They're first on Friday. Chris Jans had stuff to say and let you know how you can help. You can buy the team breakfast or lunch or a night of lodging. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal and ProView Networks.
Spin move for Smith. Push the B button. Dance into the end zone.
Throw it. it up. Pavia now running around. Being chased, looks across, throws it up and wide open. Ball is caught, touchdown. Siembieda. Dropping, looking, stepping up. He's going to run. He's got a lot of green in front of him. To the end zone. Touchdown. Rio Rancho, Isaiah Chavez. Chavez set. He's going to run with it again and dives and...
It's Austin Smith, and to the outside, a lot of room. Look out, a foot race down the sideline. All the way on the first play from scrimmage, Chris. That's a touchdown.
Scrambling. And off, great hit. He bounces off outside. Got some daylight at the 20, the 10, the 5. What an incredible run.
Ramos, rise and fire, he's fouled.
You know, he used to coach for Del Norte. And
here's Voss all the way with the finish. He'll get the... Behind the back of the dribble. Tries to go up with the right hand. He changed hands in midair. And hot it, sent it away. Wynn doing a really good job denying Chavez. DC hasn't got the ball. Oh, Yeku! Oh! Working against Watson. Oh, look at the spin move.
Ball's loose. DJ Bustos brings it up. Barnes Tompkins, alley-oop. How about it? That was redunculous.
Turnover. Cable to the big fella might try to jam one home.
I'll just get a little closer.
Oh, instead it's a gorgeous pass.
Here's what he'll
just shoot it.
He's going to go all the way.
He's gonna fire at the buzzer and he hits.
Great pass, Hadbury, and thank you very much.
Tie in the district. Inside, fly, Eagles.
Chavez uses some athleticism. And then Morris down low, able to finish. You called it, Steve, in 10 seconds. And look at this, stripped, stolen Watson. Christian Lucero beats the buzzer.
Handle this as a fan. You've been a fan of a team for years and years, right, since you're a kid, and then the team changes logos. So how do you handle that? Are you obligated to go to new logo, or you've been with old logo since you're a kid? Can you stay with the old logo, like the old Rams logo? It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, Micah, J. Pole, and Alden. So JJ, how does that work when the Broncos changed logos? Right from that D with the horse coming out of it. Were you married to that logo, or was that long enough ago that you kind of grew up with this new horse? You're muted, I think. I think you're muted.
I was 9 years old, so I did not have a strong emotional attachment to it. And because right when they changed the logo, they won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So it was the best move that franchise has made to change their uniforms because it equated to a Super Bowl championship. But no, this is all about you personally. You don't have to invest in new gear. You don't have to buy the newest thing if you don't want to. If you like the old school throwback unis, it's what Cowboy fans have to wear if they want to have any pride of, look, my team won something at one point in time. It all has to be throwback.
Yeah, like Micah wearing those old. I don't even know where you found these hats. It's like you went to a golf course
in his dad's closet because it looks like it's 60 years old.
Yeah,
seriously,
they're vintage. They're vintage from the '90s hats.
So all these hats you wear,
the '90s, that hurts.
It looks like he went to a public golf course in Albuquerque and
J. Pole and Alden, vintage from the '90s.
Yeah, right. Vintage. I like that. I think it is vintage. Doesn't it look like he went to a public golf course in Albuquerque and beat up a bunch of the golfers there and took their hats? Because those are the hats those guys all wear.
That's definitely one that you find at the Goodwill. You're like, oh, there's an NFL item here.
Yeah.
Cowboys won the Super Bowl, guys. Look at this.
That's right. Well, I asked because last night, Craig Snow, who's a Buccaneers fan, former Lobo assistant, New Mexico Highlands coach, sent me a picture, and he was wearing his Buccaneers beanie, and he's like, "Game on!" And so Addie and I both put on. He's a Buccaneers fan. He's a Buccaneers fan.
Where's he from originally?
He's from Indiana.
How do you become
How do you become anything, man? I mean, but that's his team.
Yeah.
So I sent him a picture of both Addie and I wearing Rams hats, and so Addie was working on her wish list, and she's like, oh, and so she put a Rams hat. She wants her own Rams hat, which is, by the way, beautiful, because she wears her Dodger hat all the time, but she doesn't like that new logo. So I'm like, damn. So I got to figure out exactly the way to go. Now she's not old enough, certainly, to go back, be as married as I am to the old logo, but she kind of likes the old logo. So I just kind of curious. When a team changes, do you have to go to the new logo? That's all. That's kind of the conversation.
You don't have to, but of course, the teams line the pockets with all the uniform changes that they do. I'm all about overall. I'm more into old school logos. Like most of the Nugget stuff I get is throwback designs, whether it's the red, white, and blue, or even the old Rainbow City skyline,
or the older dude, the dude with the big mustache and the pickaxe, like from the 70s. That's my favorite Nuggets logo.
The blue one that I have. Like, I'm all about that. If I'm going to invest in something, I want something cool and unique, and I love the throwback logos. Now I like when you get elements of the tie-in, because I am a huge uniform guy and I love them overall. I think there's a lot of things questionable about the new look LA Rams.
No doubt.
The worst thing is that giant patch that says Los Angeles Rams. Like, hello, my name is. Yeah, like we're gonna forget who you are, so you have to have a big "Hello, my name is the LA Rams" sticker.
Well, all right, here's why, and that doesn't bother me as much as those they call it bone. That's the color of the uniforms I wore last night. They look like dirty practice uniforms. There's no markings on them, and the numbers are kind of cool. They're not sewn. They're kind of shiny.
They look like
but
icing.
They've got. Yeah, they look like icing. So they got the numbers in blue, and they got a little yellow horn around the shoulder numbers. But they literally look to me like dirty practice uniforms that they went out and beat Tommy and the Buccaneers with last night. I don't mind the hello.
I like the Buccaneers look last night.
Great look. Love the pewter. Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Big on that. Really big on that. All right. Opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah Alden, and J. Pole. You can watch us on ProViewNetworks.com. So Chris Jans, the New Mexico State coach, had a press conference yesterday, and he was talking about playing and how fortunate they are. And did you see on social media yesterday, there was a post, and Chris's wife Sherry posted this, and I saw it. And it was a text that he read to his team from Trevlin Queen. Trevlin Queen is a now free agent with the Houston Rockets, and I guess he had a workout. And basically, this was Jans reading this text to his team. They were standing around in the ballroom where they practice, and it says, "Thank you for working me so hard." And I'm paraphrasing, and I'll find it exactly, but it says, "Thank you for working me so hard. I just killed these guys today." So I guess Trev Queen had his first workout with the Rockets, had a really good workout with the Rockets, and sent his college coach a note basically saying, "Thank you for working me so hard. I got the work ethic. I'm ready to go. I'm prepared. I'm ready to go." I thought that was actually really cool.
Yeah, those are the things you need to have, to help get the buy-in, because it's easy to lose players at times, and not just because they're not tough enough or don't want to buy in. All this stuff is hard, especially right now with what the teams in this state are doing to play basketball, and that's leave and go somewhere else. You need moments like that. And of course, the NBA, that's the bright, shining lights and the big marquee. But just knowing the work that these guys are putting in overseas, I think that's a piece that it doesn't get talked about, because we're all focused on NBA draft picks and being an NBA player. But the amount of players from these programs that play overseas, that's something that you can use and say, hey, this is going to get you to your goal. Everyone wants to be in the NBA, but guess what? Not everyone's going to make it to that level. But if you put in the work, you're good enough, you can find yourself playing basketball somewhere.
All right, Mike, I apologize. Mike had told me you were there during the break, and I just spaced and went off on damn logos. So I apologize, Mike. If you want to get in, we'll put you right to the front at 505-246-0610. Oops, I screwed up. A couple other things. New Mexico State's doing something, JJ, that they're asking their fans, and this is something Lobo fan will probably laugh at them about and then probably replicate later. Remember when New Mexico State back in the day was asking for, hey, can you provide snacks for practice? And Lobo fans laughed, ha ha ha, and then they're like, oh, maybe that's a good idea. So Mario Mocha sent me the information on Donate for State, and it's for their women's and men's basketball relocation to help try to fund it. They did in 24 hours, they made $20,000 in this, and it's going to cost $100,000 for the men's team for 5 weeks is what they're estimating. And like I told you, Mario said, well, Cap's doing it down in El Paso, so you guys, hey. But it's an interesting little program, and there's a note that says, hey, we know that it's tough, but if you can help, and for a team snack, it's $50, and one night lodging for a hotel player, it's $110. You can buy breakfast for the team for $250. You can buy dinner for $500. Buy performance nutrition for $75. Sponsor a player for a day for $150. Lunch for $300, or sponsor a player for a full week for $1,000. And all the information's at nmstatesports.com, and you can go there and figure out if that's something that you want to do to help out, if that's your alma mater or you're into it. But Mario wrote a note to what he calls Aggie Nation. I don't have a problem with them doing that, to be honest with you. And I know they'll probably get hit. Oh, it's hard times. They're not.
Rudy on the line.
They're saying if you can help. And we're all looking for creative ways to generate revenue right now. And I guess I'm going to commend them for that, JJ. And if they can raise part of the money to do what they've got to do to play basketball this year, then good for them.
How is it any different than just asking for donations? This is a chance to know some people. Haven't we heard about how important it is to specifically know where money is going?
Yeah.
From some people. So this is straight up not just, hey, here's a donation, use it for whatever. It's like, you know what? I want to buy these guys breakfast. Here you go. Well, I want to make an impact with this. Here you go. There's nothing wrong with that. Laugh away, but it's what you need. It's the same thing as asking to donate to the Lobo Club or whatever else you get out there. So I don't think there's anything wrong with this at all. It's just kind of changing the way it comes across to your supporters, which I think can definitely probably catch some people's attention differently than just donating to, just one, random entity.
I think that's absolutely right. People always say, I want my money to go to football. I want my money, and that's a great point. It's a way to make sure that your money is going to where you want it to go. Rudy, good morning. You're up next on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Rudy.
Good morning. Yeah, those Rams uniforms, it looks like the material's really thin and they just look dirty.
Yeah.
Bone. I don't know any bone that looks dirty, but and the patches.
One's buried in the backyard.
Yeah, they need to ditch those uniforms. I love the color of blue of the helmets, but what's the deal with the ram stripe? Why did they break that thing up? Do you know?
I don't know. Just because they want to be new and edgy and rebrand. I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they would be better off making them look like actual ram horns, but I guess it doesn't matter if you win. So
that's right.
So much for uniforms.
Well, but Colorado State, the new Colorado State broke them out the first time when they played Marshall in the New Mexico Bowl 3 years ago. They broke out those white helmets with the broken up green ram's horn, and I thought they were beautiful, and they wear them a lot. I think those are some of the coolest helmets in this league. So there is a way to do it.
Now, I like UNM going back to the old logo.
Love it.
Logo because it matches all my old stuff. So I saved a couple of bucks. I think that people need to understand, and Danny hit the nail on the head. UNM wants to spend this money here in Albuquerque. I still get back to, I don't know what the will of the people is, but I bet if you polled 10 people on the street, 9 of them would say they'd be better off playing here at home and spending the money here at home than spending it in Las Vegas. You do what you got to do, but once again, I just don't know why the governor is being so intransigent about this when the numbers are the numbers, and if you're supporting science, you should do that.
So, Rudy, this was a big
piece.
piece.
For Danny.
Yeah, and JJ, this is Danny went off on this, and did you see him look off to the side during the press conference? He said, "I'm probably going to get in trouble for this." He says, "But it really ticks me off," and I think he said pisses me off that we're spending all this money out of state when we could be supporting hotels in Albuquerque, and we could be supporting businesses in Albuquerque to feed our student athletes, and we could have done this, he said, in Albuquerque, and put the money in our economy instead of bringing it to Henderson, Nevada.
Yeah, and I hope somebody up in Santa Fe is paying attention. I hope somebody in the legislature is paying attention, and they do something, But I think my final thoughts are it's going to be great, and I'm very thankful for UNM playing football. I don't think that anybody watching the game this Thursday is going to be disappointed that UNM's playing football if they're a Lobo football fan and if they're a sports fan. And by the way, UNM is doing the same thing with the COVID relief fund. What I did is I just donated my season tickets. I buy 10 season tickets every year. I just donated the money for the season tickets. I'm not going to get to see them pay to the COVID relief fund. And to help UNM out. I think everybody that does that helps New Mexico State out, helps UNM out. These are our kids. And this is our future, so we need to help them. So anything that Mario and Eddie can do to get some more money in, I'm all in favor of, and I wish New Mexico State all the best as they start their basketball season.
Right on, Rudy. Enjoy Thanksgiving. Have a great holiday. All right, Rudy called at 505-246-0610. Look, I got no problem. I got none. And if people can help, and maybe people didn't realize, hey, I can help, I can feed them dinner tomorrow. And I got the means to do it. I think it's good. 505-246-0610, 8:30 this morning. Brandon Mason's going to be with us, the former Lobo assistant. We're going to talk about the roster that he's put together for the basketball tournament of alumni from New Mexico and mostly from UNM, and what else he's doing for the youth. I think you're going to be really impressed with what Brandon's doing. I'm proud of what he's doing. Hey, no down payment for a new home, no problem. You can get a jump start at Kirtland Federal Credit Union. The Jump Start Down Payment Assistance Program can give you up to $6,000 towards your new home, and this is not a loan. You don't have to pay it back as long as you stay in your home for 4 years. Prices are really high right now, and a down payment could put that dream home out of reach, but don't let that happen. If you've never owned a home or you haven't owned a home in the last 3 years, you could qualify. Get a jump start on home ownership. Apply for Jump Start assistance today. Go to kirtlandfcu.org/jumpstart. kirtlandfcu.org/jumpstart. Kirtland Federal Credit Union is equal to housing lender, federally insured by the NCUA.
It's okay to do some things halfway, but
Let's get a little closer.
Oh, instead it's a gorgeous pass.
Here's what he'll
just shoot it.
He's going to go all the way.
He's going to fire at the buzzer, and he hits.
Great pass, Hadbury, and thank you very much.
Tie in the district. Inside, fly, Eagles.
Chavez uses some athleticism. And then Morris down low, able to finish. You called it, Steve, in 10 seconds. And look at this, stripped, stolen Watson. Christian Lucero beats the buzzer. Here's Ian Chavez, the sharpshooter. Got it.
Could have said that any better. He answered the question.
On
Got
a
another
steal
one.
at the buzzer. Back to back for Chavez.
To the paint. Medina from the volleyball lines. Medina wants another one from deep. Oh, he wants 10. Give him 10.
Lewis finds Watson. He's going to finish. One-handed slam. Vista, but just all the different scenarios we could see potentially play out ahead of the state tournament.
Hill, the senior top. No!
Oh! Ho, ho, ho!
Creates space. He gives it off to Rivas for the three, and he buries it.
They'll be coming in soon. Double pick set for Avalos. Goes to the right. Avalos puts it up high. Window. Scores it as foul.
Right here by Lewis all the way, coast to coast, and finish.
What a...
Around the screen, against White, step back, it's blocked! JB with the block!
In transition, ahead to hit on for the two-hand hammer.
Has to go, they've got a shot, they have a chance, and it's put up, and it's good! What a three that is by Jalen.
Hidon puts it up.
Rebound, Cowboys. Right side, David Hall. Thank you very much.
Hey, 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 hey. Is that a Ram? What are you wearing? It's Ram colors. Oh, it's an old school Nuggets lid. That's good. Yeah, where's Big Bad Jackie? Rams win last night 27-24 on Monday Night Football and here on the radio on the Sports Animal. Beat Tommy. Hold Tommy off. Tommy the GOAT had the ball at the end of the game. Driving down the field. Picked off by Jordan Fuller. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, and Micah. So JJ, I got to see this. We were having this conversation about coaches and James, whoever it was. I guess James sent me that note. You know, is Danny Gonzalez getting a pass for ... And I'm like, pass for what? Like, pass for what? And I literally, what do you expect? Instead of just sending that same email, what did you expect? And so I got this response to it, and bear with me because it's from Don. But he said, Jeff, James would complain if Shania Twain sat on his face. He's a complainer and a contrarian. He will never be happy with Danny nor the Lobos. The improvements this team has made since the beginning of the season are very evident. The defense is turning the ball over and getting to the ball better and better each week. They're on the field an awful lot due to the offense not sustaining possessions. The offense is struggling, but they've lost their starting quarterback, and the difference from QB1 to QB2 is immense. Danny and Rocky will win and will develop. They just need time. Also, the disadvantage this governor has placed the programs here in New Mexico is huge. Give Danny time and some support from a governor who hasn't placed personal aspirations before the starters or before the state's citizens. It's a logo. Get over it. It's from Don. Certainly, and I think one thing that maybe is underplayed, and I don't want to overplay it either, but I think it is a factor, is the fact that, yeah, they're living in Nevada, that they're going through something that nobody else in America is doing. And I again, I don't want to use that as an excuse, but I think it's got to factor into the equation, doesn't it?
It is a factor. No one is using it as an excuse from Lobo football, which I think everyone appreciates, but they are basing everything out of Las Vegas. You know, they're the Las Vegas Lobos of New Mexico. Like, that plays a role in this. I think they've handled it extremely well to this point in time. I think the message coming from the top has trickled down to the players when you hear their response, not just to the games, but what it takes a week of preparation and just trying to stay on track to finish up your semester virtually like everyone else is at this point in time, and then also prepare to play a football game.
And by the way, they were not very good to begin with. They've got a new coaching staff, and they've got, I mean, everything's crazy. I'm not telling you nobody else has it tough. I think everybody's got it tough. I do. But I'm telling you that they've got it different, that they're doing something, and I see progress. Lobo Hobo says, now that we rammed it, are we going to hoe tomorrow? I mean, we got to kind of hoe tomorrow, don't we? We're not here on Friday. Thanksgiving is Thursday. I mean, this is the one time of year we do Thursday hoe, do we not, JJ?
We do.
Micah's looking for a little bit of guidance on it. A Wednesday hoe? All right, so what is that hat? That old school nugget that you put on?
Yes.
That's good stuff.
I felt like everyone is wearing a hat this morning, so I felt I had to put a hat on.
I mean, do your thing, man. If everybody jumped off a bridge, would you do it? Do your thing.
If they had a parachute.
If they had a parachute. All right. I mean, wherever you want to go, I'm down. Lobo Hobo also is in on Frank. It says, Jeff, the schedule still shows Lobo football hosting Wyoming at Dream Style 10 days from now and Fresno State the week after that. Surely those games are going to be moved any second now, right? I think they're already moved. Right? I mean, that's already done.
I would assume so.
Yeah. I'm assuming that's already done. Did you say Tavaka, this is from Maurice, did you say Tavaka did not practice, Jeff? No way he plays now in a short week after missing so much time already, right? P.S. The weekend OD crew is moving up. I heard one of them hosting the Vote show on the Big Stick yesterday. Ooh, look at that. I didn't hear that either. But, all right, sweet. JJ, Danny seemed to think that if Tavaka was ready by tomorrow, I mean, I don't know. That was the impression I got. If Tavaka Tuioti was ready to go tomorrow, Wednesday, that he would play on Thursday. Is that the impression you got?
I got the impression he doesn't believe Tavaka is going to be available this week.
Yeah, I think I did too. Yes, but Tavaka's a starting quarterback. So can they beat Utah State with Trey Hall?
Yes. It was bad Friday night, but I still like the skills that Trey Hall has, his athleticism, his arm strength. They're not asking him, to be a guy that beats you downfield. And you brought it up yesterday, the elements of this passing game that, it's a lot of extended runs. They want those quick slants. They want the screens to try to take some pressure off the offensive line and then run the football. So everything is kind of based in that 10-yard frame from the line of scrimmage, and then they take their shots. I believe Trey Hall can execute this offense, and especially against a Utah State team that is coming in with a lot more questions than the Lobos have.
This has a weird feel to me on the Tavaka thing. It just feels like Tavaka's career in some respects. I mean, he's missed so many games with these lingering injuries, and you know, I'm not. Please don't think I'm downplaying this head injury, because I'm not. But this has been a Tavaka feel throughout his career, and again, I'm not beating up on the young man. It feels very reminiscent to me. You?
It's the what if. You know, I think Tavaka is going to be that player that we look back on and say, man, what if he had the same offense coordinator for 2 years in a row? What if he was able to stay healthy when it came to Mountain West play? It's really unfortunate because he rose to the occasion, man. Danny Gonzalez challenged him, essentially called him soft when he got here. I mean, he had a battle for the starting job. He had to overcome being the number 2 quarterback, and he won the job. He beat out Trey Hall. And when Tavaka was on the field this season, you liked what he brought to the table. And it's unfortunate that he took a helmet-to-helmet hit trying to do what he was asked to do, and that was to lead this team, be a tougher football player. But as a quarterback, when you're downfield and you're diving forward for more yards, guys are flying at you, and that's what happened. He got hit helmet-to-helmet.
All right, we're going to change gears when we come back. Lobo alumni team in the basketball tournament going national. Brandon Mason has put this thing together. He's also doing some great things with our high school athletes, and I call him Mr. Basketball in the state of New Mexico. He's going to be with us next. Brandon Mason, Lobo fan, you're going to love this. You're going to love this. It's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Here come the Cowboys. Domina Lovato lays it up. Missed it. Hey, how about it? Dunk you luscious. Thank you very much, Raquan Mitchell. Clock at 6. They get it. Barnes Tompkins fires. Yes! Pass up court. This for the win. Blocked by DJ Bustos. Cowboys win. Cowboys win.
Played over to Madrid. Plays it across the box off the dasher. It's settled. Shot up by Garcia. Trickles in. Goal.
Chavez blocked at the rim. And here's Dorian Lewis to Watson.
Shot on and just wide. Big deflection. Goal.
With his first field goal. Look at that. That's gorgeous.
Not a game you can go have 25 turnovers in and win.
Get that out of here, Watson says. Here comes Hodnett all the way. He's blocked in return. Dickey, did he get it off? He did, and he hit it. They're really... Oliveras. Wild three, and it hit.
Another steal nearly by Hiron. It is a steal. Avalos ahead to Hiron. The two-hand hammer by Hiron. I knew he was going to put that one down.
ProView Networks tonight.
District mashup there.
Davidson took it away in transition. Might be time for a jam. Yes.
Oh! Big Barton, watch him, coach. Watch the inbounder.
Dumas Sanchez in the corner.
Back to Barton with 2.4 seconds left. Fires for the win.
And he got it!
And he scored!
Oh my God!
On the last second shot.
He did! Oh my God!
Bakes it in from 25 feet and watch the celebration right in front of us. What a shot by Barton. He was double teamed and somehow found a way to get it in. Ramos to Gaxiola. High window for the win. It's good. It counts. Gaxiola with the game winner for a Driscoll Heritage.
Lovato driving. They're going to count it. Gallegos. Ooh, a little spin and a finish. Natalia Chavez. Good spin. Takes it.
Here's Ramos. Nice jump stop through the.
Played with the gambling a little bit. Oh, there's a.
Hill, little step, high window, and a
Got the second.
The middle.
Here we go. 3.9. It's Cooper's going to run with it. Cooper's going to swing it out to Lowry. Lowry. Portillo couldn't get it off, and Clovis goes in. It's waved off. He did not get it off in time. Portillo.
reverse layup. Gallegos spins. Window.
Basketball's big in our state. I think that you know that. I've called this next guest Mr. Basketball in the state of New Mexico. He played and started at New Mexico State. He's coached all over the state of New Mexico. Well, he played for the Thunderbirds under Michael Cooper, won a D-League championship, played with the Gallup Talons as well, and now is doing great things with high school athletes, youth athletes, and put together a roster that Lobo fan, I think a basketball fan in the state, is just going to make appointment TV for the basketball tournament coming up this summer. Former Lobo assistant Brandon Mason is with us on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Good morning, Brandon. How you living?
I'm doing good. How's everything? Thanks for having me on the show.
No, we appreciate you making some time. So you got some great things going on, and I want to get into the TBT roster in a minute. But first and foremost, what you're doing with high school athletes. And I think in a year like this with COVID, where there very well may not be basketball in our state at the high school level, who knows? You took over a bunch of high school athletes to a showcase in Phoenix to help them get noticed. And it sounds like, Brandon, they performed really well.
Man, you know what? The opportunity presented itself. A friend of mine, Ryan Silver, thought it'd be a good idea to incorporate some New Mexico kids. And, at the end of the day, my goal is to put those guys on the biggest stages and give them an opportunity and get a chance to see where they measure up and just give them, a chance to go back to New Mexico and say, man, I need to work on this so I can compete with those guys. Or they could say, well, shoot, I competed with those guys and I know I'm good enough, And a couple of guys here, they were able to really represent their name, whatever club team they played for, because, none of that stuff really mattered. It was just about representing themselves and putting themselves on the biggest stage, and they did very well. So, I can tell you some names if you'd like and some accomplishments that would be good for those kids as well.
Sure. No, go ahead. And also, how do people get involved? Because what you're doing right now is really, really focused on the high school athlete.
Yes, it is. And so, I did a little event here recently to get some measurements on some kids and see where they would fare out and how they would fit in some high level basketball. And I'll just say a few names: Amari Brown, Greg Brown's son. He went out there and played in his age group, and he did tremendous. He averaged probably about over 20 a game, and he made the top 60 game, which is a huge accomplishment, and everybody there was talking about him. So that's a big thing for New Mexico because he has a bright future as a freshman here. And then the next two that performed extremely well, Jaquan Hill from Volcano Vista and Sean Johnson from Sandia High School, they made the top 80 game. which is another huge accomplishment. That means that they did some tremendous things for themselves and their programs and their families. They represented New Mexico very well. After that, William Deuce Benjamin made the top 100 game, and he played well. He's a scorer. He's an elite scorer, and he'll make some Division I program happy. All of these guys will have Division I looks and will play at a good level. Jose Murillo made the 2022 All-Star game, and I mean, I haven't seen a kid block shots and dunk the basketball and run the floor and play defense the way he has in a long time. So I'm happy to see, his development and what they're doing with him over there at Highland and Charlotte Rhodey, and the thing that they've been doing with him has been tremendous. Also, we had guys like Donovan Black, Shane Sanchez from Del Norte, Judah Cassis from Del Norte as well. All those kids were able to Eli Lovato. I'm sorry. They're just guys.
You got guys who can play,
and they can play, and they did a really good job. And I tried to, help out as many kids and give them that opportunity as possible. And it worked out. And the main thing is it doesn't matter what AAU program, it didn't matter what high school. It's just about helping New Mexico kids in general, giving them an opportunity and a platform to be successful.
No, it's a big deal. Former Lobo assistant coach and former Aggie star Brandon Mason's with us on the opening drive, and JJ and I were looking, JJ, the roster that's put together. You were talking about the TBT.
Yeah, absolutely. Brandon, before we get into that, I just want to ask you, how much has it helped you this summer to have this focus, to be able to work with these high school athletes and have a positive impact in the basketball community?
Well, you know what? I will jump to Alex Kirk's comment when he, in the little interview we did, he said, well, it seems like Coach Mason has a lot of time on his hands now, so he could do stuff like this. So I actually do have some time on my hands, and, it's just exciting to be in the community and actually impact the community in a different way, as opposed to just coaching college basketball. My main focus, when I was leaving the Lobos, was that I wanted to impact my own kids' lives, because I have 3 boys, 13, 11, and 9. And I put so much into other programs and other kids that, I didn't want to lose focus that my kids are key and just as important, And so that's what I was starting to do. And then the next thing everything kind of started to steamroll, and then connections and different things. And, the JB White Elite thing came up with Jude Voss and Ross Romero and Chris Pata and Reese Gonzalez, and guys like that wanted to, help out and get involved. And I was like, you know what, let's help New Mexico all together, whether it's youth, 5th through 8th grade, and high school as well. So everything just kind of worked out for itself.
Brandon, as Jeff mentioned, and you've been New Mexico basketball. You know the ins and outs of this state when it comes to high school basketball, even lower than that, and then up into the collegiate level. How have you seen the game develop, and where do you think it's at, in terms of young players' development and getting the opportunity, to be seen on that national stage?
Well, I think here in New Mexico, the talent has risen. I haven't seen this many Division I players in New Mexico in a while. But let me rephrase that sometimes there has been Division I athletes, but they haven't had the stage as well either to showcase that. But one thing I'd say is, the guys going out there this weekend, it was basically very eye-opening for them, because one thing that stood out the most is that the guys that were successful, a lot of them were in shape. And I was preaching that to some kids, like, man, if you're not waking up in the morning and running, if you're not in shape, you can't make those shots that you're practicing. You can't score the basket. You can't make those free throws while you're tired. Like, that's the number one thing, being in shape, having a motor and playing hard, things like that people don't really talk about. Like, you can have a trainer and be in a gym and doing 2-ball dribbling and doing all the cone work and behind the back and through the legs. But if you're not in shape, none of that's going to work when you're out there with these high-level guys.
Brandon Mason's with us for a few more minutes on the opening drive. All right, you put together a roster. Now Brandon is the guy majorly responsible for the alumni games that you enjoyed at the Pit a few summers ago, New Mexico alumni versus New Mexico State alumni. Now he's put together a roster for the basketball tournament, which you watch on national television, winner take all, $1.2 million, and a roster that includes, amongst others, Cameron Bairstow and Tim Williams and Kendall Williams and Anthony Mathis and Alex Kirk and Wendell McKinnis and Drew Gordon. Putting this, how'd this come about, man? Because JJ was saying last summer, I'd love to see a New Mexico alumni team, and looky here, you got Michael Cooper to coach it, and you got it put together.
Yeah, you know what? It's over the past few years when you watch it on TV, I mean, my mind rolls like that all the time. And I mean, I remember watching it in my office at the Pit, last year on ESPN, and I'm just like, man, our guys would be really good in something like that. They're older, they're vets, they know how to play the right way, they played at a high level. And then, now it just seemed like it was perfect timing, because the TBT is going to happen. It happened, when COVID had first started. And so, like, I know for sure that it's going to happen next year, just I don't know what capacity or what have you. So, when we were piecing this thing together, I called Alex Kirk first. I called Darrington Hobson after that, and so on. And the reason I wanted to have an organization as opposed to a team, I didn't want to just go and get 11 guys and say this is our team. I wanted to go get 15 guys and then a big staff and support group to make sure everything rolls the right way. That's why that's why I'm not coaching. I went and got Craig Snow, Corey Alford, guys who have real relationships and been around these guys or played with these guys, and then someone these guys would look up to, like a Michael Cooper, who's won at every single level. Like, I didn't want to make this about me or anything like that. That's why I'm not coaching. I was just like, you know what, let me put it together and be the relationship guy and coordinate this thing. So I think the type of talent that we have. And it was huge to get guys like Scott Bamford, who's played in it for years and who's playing at the highest level overseas, and DeAndre Lansdowne. They're both born and raised here in New Mexico, and they both play at the highest level overseas, to add that component. And Tony Dandridge and, J.R. Giddens, and there's so many names that we pieced together. And, of course, everybody's going to say, man, we could have had a couple more guys, but, hey, we're right there where we need to be, and there's some other names that still float. And I FaceTime with Bryce Alford yesterday, and some other guys. But, it's rolling in the right direction, and we're happy to be doing this.
Yeah, Brandon, I got to believe, there's so many moving pieces to this. When you look at guys playing overseas, are they going to have the ability to play in this tournament? So you have to have those options available. When you look at, putting this roster together outside of, the alumni that were available, what kind of things stood out to you about just like the dudes you wanted to be able to compete in this tournament? Because I think people are going to be surprised. You might not be marquee names, but these are a lot of dudes that are playing at a ridiculously high level overseas, and it's some fun basketball to watch.
Definitely. I mean, I was thinking of guys who are specialists and that could help the team win. And Scott Bamford is an all-star, basically. He played with Dame Lillard at Weber State, and he's playing at the highest level. He shoots the cover off the ball. And I thought with him and Anthony Mathis being able to knock down shots from basically anywhere would uplift this team and open up driving lanes for these guys. And then also DeAndre Lansdowne is like a do-it-all guy that played here and at Sandia High School and is playing at the highest level over there, and he's doing tremendous. He had about 20 the last game I saw on TV, and he's one of those guys that can shoot the ball, he can rebound the ball, he can defend, he can do everything. And then when I was talking with some New Mexico State guys, Jonathan Gibson, I called him first. He played, with the Boston Celtics and played at the highest of highest levels, but he had other commitments and couldn't commit. And Wendell McKinnis is just a complete dog. Like, he just rebounds, plays hard. Every Lobo was just like, you know what, that's the one. That's who it is. So, it was kind of like easy decision making, and I was just lucky to have relationships with those guys already prior to, so it was easy to kind of put together.
Hey, Brandon, you have a few more minutes. We got to take a break, but I got more stuff I'd love to go through. Can you hold through the break?
Yes, sir. No problem.
All right, beautiful. Micah, thanks for that. Brandon Mason is with us, and I had this all come together. And JJ, I think Louisville fan is going to love that. I think basketball fan is going to love this. So we'll continue our conversation with Brandon Mason next on the opening drive.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Shoot. They'll get one off, and it'll count high off the window.
Oh my gosh.
There's a long three.
Boom.
Bang. Martinez will beat the buzzer. Got it to go.
Ford driving kick. Three's in the air. It's good. Pass on the nice block by Hernandez Crawford.
And Brown in the transition. But why not, Steve? Is Corbalan's going to go and he puts it away. And Corbalan wants to put it down. Here comes Screechers. Brown, you can't leave him alone. Put it down.
Gershon in transition. 3-on-2. Gershon going to go all the way. Whoa, Morgan.
Moreno extra pass. And Watson. Out with it, Gallegos, and he's going to run all the way. Window, yes! Able to get out of it. How did he find Battle? It's to Cunningham, and it...
I mean, Ramos' hand.
Ramos puts it up, beats the buzzer!
Boy, Jefferson wide open.
Jefferson to Daraji! Into Watson with the jam!
Another steal by Divino Lovato, and here comes Agbaiosi. Lob, two-hand hammer. You knew that was coming.
The basketball fans are going to love this over the summer, this New Mexico alumni team in the basketball tournament, which will be nationally televised. Brandon Mason is with us on the opening drive, Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. And Mason, as you put this thing together, how was the response? When you called guys, did it take a lot of convincing? Did anybody say, no, I can't do it, don't want to do it? How was the response when you went to guys with the idea?
The response was quick. It was fun. It was nice and easy. I mean, of course, there's guys like Alex Kirk who have humongous contracts that are doing really well. It'll be a slim chance, but they would love to be involved. They'll be, if they're in town and they can get it done, they would love to. But they also have prior engagements. Like, I would love to have Alex and Cam 1,000%, but that's not a guarantee. So that's why you have to have such a nice, large group and everybody all in it together.
And then you get Michael Cooper in. I mean, and I think that's huge because you talked about credibility and guys will respect this head coach in a weird setting like this. That's a pretty good get.
Yeah, I thought so too. I mean, for me, it was a no-brainer and a quick phone call for me. I just was like, look, Coop, man, I need you, buddy. I mean, he wakes up in the morning and breathes championships, it seems like. So, I mean, I thought the guys on a respect level, would respect him from where he's been, what he's done, and what he's accomplished. So, when he speaks, they would listen and kind of, fall in the line when it came to Coop. And, and relationship-wise, with Craig Snow and Corey Alford, I thought that would be a nice little backbone for those guys as well.
By the way, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Mace, that Michael Cooper is still the only person to have a ring at all the levels of the NBA. The NBA, the D-League, and the WNBA where he won with the LA Sparks, correct?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know anybody else that has been able to accomplish what he has. And I mean, the D-League championship that we won, I mean, we were probably the last pick to win it. Like, we snuck into the playoffs and got hot, and he did a heck of a job putting us in a position to win that championship. So his coaching is bar none. He does a heck of a job, and he's really good at it. No doubt.
Brandon Mason's with us for a few more minutes on the opening drive.
No, Brandon, one of the things that we were actually discussing, about college basketball programs, and it's when guys make it to the NBA, that's the pinnacle, and that's the marquee, that's the bright lights, that's when you're recruiting, you're like, hey, look at all these NBA players, but there's so many more paths to playing professional basketball. Like, when does that start to trickle in when you talk about playing overseas and even the work it takes to make a league just to get a paycheck somewhere else?
Well, you know what? A lot of guys really, they don't see it until when it's done. Everybody still thinks they're going to the NBA all the time. For me, I knew I wasn't going to the NBA probably by my senior year, and I was lucky to get into professional basketball because of Russ Bradbury, but I didn't have any other connections. But at this level with Lobo basketball, when you're recruiting these guys, everybody's goal, you're selling to them, we're going to help you get to the NBA, or we're going to help you make money when it's all said and done. And that's what they want to hear. And, that was my recruiting pitch. Hey, I played 8 years professionally in 10 different countries. I might not have played in the NBA, but I know how to get you to where you're trying to go. And when you can sell that, and you're just telling them hey, I know what it takes to get there. I've done that, and I've been involved in it. It's an easy sell pitch, and they're open ears because they want to accomplish what you've done, and if you've done it already, it's an easy sell piece.
All right, I got to get your take on this. Brandon Mason's with us. So Alex Kirk was on right before he went to Japan. I think the day before he went to Japan. And the day before that, you played golf with him, and I played golf with you. Now, by the way, JJ, Brandon can hit the golf ball. He'll hit it. He'll hit the golf. But you were there. Yeah, so two things. Craig Snow, first time he ever hit his brand new 8-iron. Makes a hole-in-one out at Isleta, and then he told me that Alex Kirk hits the golf ball 360 yards. All that true?
I don't think that's true. I think it's more about 380, 390. I mean, longest drive competition winner whenever he decides to do it. I've never seen anybody hit the ball like that. It's incredible. And, I mean, Craig Snow's hole-in-one. I was running around like a kid, on my Snapchat and Twitter and taking pictures. I thought I hit the hole-in-one, but I can't even hit the ball.
Yeah, no, you hit it actually pretty good. And by the way, JJ, like Mace may not hit it always exactly where he wants, but he looks good on a golf course. Like when he comes out there, he's dressed like he's ready to play.
That's what matters. You look good. You can swing through it. If it goes in the wrong fairway, if you can never find it, so be it. At least you don't look like Charles Barkley.
You bring
I'm always playing from the other fairway, but you know when you're not that good at golf, what everybody tells you after you hit the ball, man, that was good contact. I'm the king of good contact.
And you bring in a few extra sleeves of golf ball. We had a good time that day, man, and we need to do it again. All right, let people know, Mace, as far as high school athletes, and if they want to get in contact with you and what you're doing and helping these young men, how do they find you and get involved in what you're doing?
Well, what they can do is they can follow me on Twitter or send me a message in my inbox, Coach_BMace, BMASE. They can contact me. I'm willing to help any kid here in New Mexico. I have some other ideas that'll pop up next year since you know the chances of basketball is very slim because of what's going on in the world today. But I'm definitely connected enough to try to help as many kids as possible, and that's what I'm here for.
All right, and then will that team, will they get together? Like, how will that be? The tournament happens. Will they practice, play in any scrimmages? How will that be?
Yeah. You will be the first to know the dates of everything that's going on, but they will all be here in July, and we're going to do all kind of special things. We're going to have a training camp. We're going to have camps. We're going to have stuff that you've seen before to get ready, basically. So I don't want to put too much out there, but everything will be coming and all the guys will be involved, and it'll be a nice couple of weeks here in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
I'm proud of you, Mace. I know it's been a tough run, and it's good to see you doing good things, and I know this community's always been a big part of what you do, and you've always wanted to give back to this state. And it's funny how things work out, man, but good things are coming, and continue to be you. Thank you, as always, for spending some time with us.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys for having me on, too.
Be well. Enjoy Thanksgiving. Best to you and your family. Brandon Mason. JJ, I'm really, really proud of Mace. And look, things happen for a reason, and you don't know. And you got two ways to go. You can go north or south, and I'm proud of him for taking this thing north.
Absolutely. You made a mistake, and you can either let everything else that's gone on this year drag you down or get back to giving back, and that's what he was able to do.
Yeah. All right. Respond to that because I think there was a ton there. Never mind that Alex Kirk now hits at 380. Mace can hit the ball. He's like you, man. It's good contact, and it's a lot like you. Every once in a while, it'll go down the fairway. You're like, damn. Otherwise, it's like, oh, it's over by that tree. No, the third one. No, that one. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Moreno extra pass, and Watson. Out with it, Gallegos, and he's gonna run all the way. Window, yes! Able to get out of it. How did he find Battle? It's to Cunningham, and it...
I mean, Ramos' hand.
Ramos puts it up, beats the buzzer!
Boy, Jefferson wide open.
Jefferson to Daraji! Into Watson with the jam!
Another steal by Davina Lovato, and here comes Agbaiosi. Lob, two-hand hammer. You knew that was coming. The lob tagged by Osi, the one-hand hammer.
Put up. And a drive from Parham.
opportunity here. Martinez shoots, he scores. Cut into it. Had some nice looks at the rim. Win. Inside. They're not going to miss this one. Two-hand hammer from Murillo. Ball's played up. Rodriguez with it. Gonna settle. Looks to the inside. Comes to the far side push. Shot on in. Goal deflected in. No.
Dorian's gonna go all the way. It was blocked by the rim. Get it out, says Kobe Wade. Ramos, got it. Look out. Ramos, can he chase it down? It was a freebie. Saved it. And then stolen. And somehow Hasbury's got it back. Handoff. Watson.
Getting stripped. Daniel stripped him. The Highland the other way. Win up top to the big goal. Here he comes.
For the lead. Got it. What a great game plan. Look at this.
Agbayosi throws it down.
Driving. Your isolation might continue.
Let's see if Melfi can cash it in. He's got some protection. Deep ball. Ericsson's open. Touchdown, Monarchs.
Second and 10. Smith looking, and he's going to fire over the middle, and he's got his guy. It's another big play. Walking away for a touchdown, Tristan Altier.
They're going to hand it off to Chavez. Chavez breaking tackles. Look out. Chavez up the sideline. Stays in bounds. Touchdown. Volcanovic.
That replay,
I
just
got
get
you.
the measurement. I mean,
Smith's going to fire on first down, and he's on the outside. There's a lot of room for Brad Thomas. A move, and he's set free. Dance into the end zone.
Cowboys
Touchdown.
practice and everything has been halted at Cowboy camp. They have shut down their facility. But it is described as a non-COVID related medical emergency with one of the team's staffers. So this got to be pretty serious, right? If they shut down on a short week against a division rival for first place, it's non-COVID, and it's a staffer. And it lets your mind race to where it is. And when we get more, we'll let you know. But this is obviously pretty concerning. They're concerned about their staffer who required medical attention. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, Micah, Alden, and Jay Paul over on the ProView Networks. JJ, that's pretty real. Something like that comes across from CBS Sports that that they've shut down their facility. That's a pretty big deal.
Yes, it is. And initially you say, okay, not COVID related, so the team, you say, okay, nothing's wrong with the team, but something of that magnitude is definitely scary to see happen.
Well, I mean, your mind runs, did someone have a heart attack on the sideline, a coach? Right? I mean, it's kind of when it's written so vaguely, and I hate to assume, but that's all you're allowed to do at that point. Certainly your mind starts to race, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And we've actually seen that situation firsthand when it comes to situations that happened with Bob Davie and post-game locker room. So yeah, you never know, and you just start thinking worst case scenario sometimes.
All right, 505-246 if you want to get in. So we'll keep you up to date, and we'll watch for that if we can. If there's anything more that comes out, certainly we'll let you know in regards to what's going on with with the Cowboys. 2460610. Edward, good morning. You are now on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Good day, sir.
You know, when it says in the good word, in all things give thanks. And even though I'm significantly disappointed with the Tampa Brady Gronkaniers performance last night, it's still a week of Thanksgiving, so I still have joy in my heart. With all credit to the Rams, Jeff, I think, you know, they're a sleeper, man, to get into that Super Bowl. Tampa Bay went in with a horrific game plan, both offensively and defensively. On defense, Bowles, who puts together such great blitz packages, I don't think they blitzed maybe twice all night. They just stood in that soft zone and let goofy Goff just light him up all night. And Goff's good. I really like Goff. But I was surprised at the plan. And then offensively, they just are relying on this throw it deep on one-on-one coverage and hope for the best. And as bad as they played, they probably still should have won the game. It was horrible. And I've been saying for about a month now, we're going to find out if Tampa is a contender or they're just kind of going to meander around and hope for the best. And they're probably going to get thumped next week against Kansas City and slip to 7-5. And hopefully they can kind of figure some things out. But I was significantly disappointed last night with their performance.
Do you think when Tommy got the ball at the end of the game?
It's just guessing, right? If you can't pick up the free safety and you're just throwing it up the seam and just guessing
and hoping,
I don't know what.
Did you think he was going to take him down and win? Because I was convinced for sure. I mean, here's put another notch in Tommy's belt. Here we go.
You know what's interesting is a lot of his success in big games is predicated on you stretch people and you dump it off to the backs. But those guys repeatedly just drop balls, and I think he loses confidence. And it's not all the team's fault. It's not all Brady's fault. It's a function of everything. And to still be competitive in that game where Goff tried to give it away at the end of the game, I don't know. But every NFC team is flawed. I know the Saints have a great record. We went over their schedule last night, and the two best teams they've played, they got beat pretty handily. They lost to Green Bay and they lost to the Raiders. All they've shown is that they could beat Tampa Bay at this point, so I think it's still wide open. Hey, I thoroughly enjoyed your last guest, just the content. And Greg Brown's son, I remember taking a basketball class my freshman year at UNM as an elective, right, because we just all thought we were superstars. And Greg Brown must have been a sophomore in high school. And Kelvin Scarborough was in there and some of the Lobo players. And I'm telling you, Greg Brown would come in and dominate those guys and not miss a shot at 5 foot, whatever he is, 5'8". It was incredible. And I know he won the Naismith. He was a Naismith Award winner for best player under 6 feet. But that guy completely dominated the UNM players, and he was like a sophomore in high school. I'm interested to see how that all plays out, because his daughter just killed it here. And that's going to be fun. That tournament's great, man. It's so entertaining. And there's so much pressure on those guys to make that money. I think it's vastly entertaining. Anyway, I just thought I'd be accountable to, I talk up the Buccaneers, and they're just in the mix at this point, and hopefully they can win 3 of their last 6 games and get to 10 wins and get into the playoffs. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Right,
thanks for taking my call, and I'll listen to you guys intently.
Good day. Tampa Bay's going to have to fight to get in the playoffs. Tampa Bay has got Kansas City next, and to his point, probably going to go 7-5. They don't have to play the Saints again. They're not winning that division. So I this would be so Tommy, though. I could see them falling into that spot. What would it be, the 5th spot? Yeah, it's going to be hard for them to climb up there and get a first-round playoff game against whoever wins the NFC East, right? Because the 5 seed is going to get whoever wins the NFC East. Isn't that right? 6 seed is. 6 seed is. Because there's 7 teams, so it's going to be 2-7, 3-6.
2-7, 3-6, 4-5.
4-5. Yeah. All right. So that's right. Is the Rams right now in the 4 spot, the 5 spot?
No, the Rams are second seed in the NFC playoff picture right now.
So it'd be the Seahawks.
So it'd be Rams, Cardinals, Packers, Buccaneers, Eagles, Seahawks. Are the matchups as of this morning in the NFC. And this wasn't a game plan issue totally.
I agree.
It looked bad because of what the Rams defense did. I'm not going to just sit here and say, oh, if they coach better, little old Tommy would have looked better. No, the Rams made him look bad. And the defensive lines that are good up front have made life on Tom Brady terrible this season. Look at their losses. Saints, Bears, and now the Rams. Like, he didn't fall off a cliff. It's not the end of Tommy, but there are huge questions of what he can do under pressure because you're not going to feel comfortable in the postseason, and he has everything he needs. This is the best offense he's been in years, and yet still the pressure gets to him, and that tells you everything you need to know about that Rams defensive line last night.
Well, a couple things. He's 42, so he's going to regress. Secondly, on Todd Bowles, on the defensive line. So I thought Todd Bowles did a pretty decent job taking away the run. Rams have 3 running backs that have been pretty effective, and it looked to me like going into this, Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator for the Buccaneers, said, all right, let's see if Jared Goff can beat us. I don't believe he can. I believe our front's going to get to him, and I like our secondary. Jared Goff did a pretty good job of dissecting them in the first half. He did it in the second half. I'm going to tell you defensively, what Todd Bowles' defense did against Jared Goff was really, really good. I think he made it, whatever he did at halftime, I think he did a nice job. So I'm not faulting Todd Bowles. They gave up 27 freaking points. I don't think that's too many to a Rams offense. And he absolutely took the running game out and said, all right, Jared Goff's going to go beat us. They picked him off twice in the second half. So I don't know that I've got a problem with Todd Bowles' game plan as a defensive coordinator of the Buccaneers.
No, and with all that being said, it was a field goal game. And if Tom Brady is better, that last interception was a bad pass. That wasn't game plan. That was bad Tom Brady. And if he was better, he could have got his team in position to tie and or win the game. That still, shows Tampa Bay's defense is legit. That's going to give them a chance in any game they play the rest of the way because that they're still an explosive team when you see them. And yes, we talk about who have you played and in terms of kind of our weekly power rankings and discussions. But once you get to the playoffs, it doesn't matter if you beat a good team or not. This isn't the college, football ranking show where you need to have the good strength of schedule. Get in and anything can happen.
That's tonight, by the way. The college football playoff ranking show is tonight. All right, keep them coming at 505-246-0610. We got some NFL stuff. I'll try to get you any updates we can. And I know, Micah, you're looking for the Cowboy stuff to see what we're able to find coming out of Cowboy camp. But again, Cowboy facility has been shut down, a non-COVID related medical emergency. Cowboys play on Thursday this week against the Washington Football Club. Holidays are here, gentlemen. I know how it is because I'm the same way. I'm thinking about how I'm going to take care of everyone in my life. Don't forget to take care of yourself. Guys, you can't take care of anyone else unless you take care of you first. If you're not feeling right, if you're dealing with fatigue, low T, erectile dysfunction, call NewMail. Take care of it. It's a year where everything is seemingly out of your control. This, however, is something that you can absolutely control. NewMail's right here in Albuquerque. It can help you deal with ED, depression, even hair loss. You just got to make the call. 505-652-1688. 505-652-1688 or visit NewMail, NUMALE.com. You know it's not going away by ignoring it. It's not going to take care of itself. And the truth is there's nothing to be ashamed of. Men hit a certain age, these things are normal. The beauty of NewMail is you can battle normal. You can feel better. NewMail's number is 505-652-1688. Enjoy the holiday season and give yourself the gift of feeling great. What a great gift. NewMail, 505-652-1688 or visit newmail.com and feel better.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need from screen printing, embroidery, and digital printing services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
It's his second field goal. He's got 4 points. Watson, though, goes all the way.
Hit the deck, I should say. Cordova tried to throw it off. Romero, a 3 for...
Set out to Jutapia. Nice move behind his back. It's a good... Here's Ramos, step back, high arcing, playing it! Well, he needed to get his legs back under him. Ooh, little kick.
They leave it one more time. Two-hand hammer.
Look at this, they're not going to score again. Look at this.
Up top. Yes, and the finish for Akbayosi. Saved into the hands of Riak, ahead of the pack to Davina Lovato. Up high, down hard for Akbayosi. Out of the corner, Casals, the 3-0, Katenge! Let me clean up the mess! He dropped out of the rafters for that one, Steve.
Dorian over. Did he get in?
Yeah, they got in. He got in.
Touchdown, Dorian Lewis.
Seconds to play. Benavides looking, still looking up the middle. It's intercepted. It's picked off by Freddie Anaya, and Roswell's season will end perfect.
Second quarter, 2nd and 4 for Socorro at the whole 44-yard line. McDaniel trying, good block by Hicks. First down and more, 30, 25, 20. McDaniel might be gone. Touchdown.
Wow.
Touchdown for Michael McDaniel.
It's 40 seconds this year. It's not like 25 like it used to be.
He laterals it back. What a play by Hightower. Pitch.
Looked like somebody moved a little bit early. Hicks, the play fake double move. He's got his receiver wide open. Caught. One man to beat. Touchdown. Touchdown to number 17, Nathaniel.
Third and 6. Big defensive play coming up here. Little trickery to Reese. See you later. Touchdown. They went for the deep ball to Reese.
To the right, single receiver split to the left. Play fake. Head up the middle. It's got some room. 50, 45, 40. Has one man to beat. 30, 25, 10, 5. Touchdown. Touchdown, Hope.
Wow.
On a...
Option again, he'll keep it. Now he'll pitch it. Comes out to the 30, 25, 20, up the sideline. Still inbounds into the end zone. Let's see.
Touchdown.
Touchdown, Portell.
Davison in the play action, looking.
It has been awarded. Actually, it has been earned. It has been won. The KBO champions, the KC Dinos. Or is that the NC Dinos? The end with the Dinos. Do you get up every morning, JJ, at 4 in the morning and been watching Korean baseball? Because that's continued, even though American sports came back. ESPN continued to give you Korean baseball every single day. And today they crowned a champion. Do you like the giant sword as the big trophy?
I do. I think everyone at some point in time has thought about how epic it would be to wield a giant sword, and being champions of the Korean Baseball League, to have that it's got to be an amazing feeling. And I did enjoy the 5 days I spent all in about the KBO, reading about the teams, understanding the rosters and the players, until everything else came back.
Did you get there? See, because I never got there. Never. I tried.
Read a season preview on the KBO.
Really? God bless you. No, I mean, I'm all. Yeah, that's good.
You want to talk champions? You want to talk KBO? Gotcha.
The Dinos are the champions of the KBO. What are there, 6 teams? How many teams are there?
I think there's it's a relatively small league. They can bus everywhere in the country. And
you know, 8 teams. I mean, congratulations on your little sword then. I'm kidding, kind of. Opening drive. Yeah. The Gladiators, what were they, like 6 teams? 7? By the end, how many teams were in their league when they won it? By the way, their schedule's out.
3 at the end.
Yeah. Jeff, JJ, Mike, Alden, and Jay Paul. You can watch us over on ProView Networks, and we're on 95.9 FM and AM 610 The Sports Animal. Following breaking news this morning out of Cowboy Camp, and Mike, I haven't seen anything more than the Cowboys have shut down their operations. It is a non-COVID medical emergency, one of their staffers. And so Omar said he can confirm that the medical emergency does not involve Coach Jerry Jones, as he was on the radio at the time practice was canceled. So whatever it is, it's got to be fairly serious, right? If they're going to shut this thing down as they're getting ready for a Thanksgiving game 2 days from now against a division rival for first place, non-COVID, it's got to be something, I would assume, that's pretty serious. So we'll watch that for you. I got emails, Jeff at 610knml.com, JJ at 610knml.com, and you can get in at 246-0610. Lance, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Good day, Lance.
Good afternoon or morning, whatever it is. But I wanted to wish you happy Thanksgiving Day, because I didn't want to ruin your Thanksgiving by calling the day before. You know, you forget about me by then. And I already wish Micah the same, but I sincerely mean it. I mean, we've been through a lot over the years of just the things, and we kind of take it for granted. It's like, you know, the old hound dog over there was there a long time ago barking, and he's still barking, and you know, you're going to have to put me down. But I was laughing at Rudy. The same thing happened to me. So my wife tells me, you know, when I want a shirt on the radio, get this big one so I can sleep in it. You know, it's like, okay, you just follow orders, you know. And so there it was. It's like, look through, see if I have anything with the logo. There it is. It fits. It fits because I got this huge shirt. You know, for her to sleep in it. So Rudy cracks me up because now he saved money. He's like, I could save a few bucks now. You know, he's a great Lobo fan. But also too, I'm a little tired of this thing. Like, you know, you stick with your team, Jeff, when they were terrible.
Yes, I did.
I mean, but you were always saying, I'm a Ram fan. Me and JJ stick with our teams. What's with this Edward? All of a sudden, Tampa Bay, maybe we'll make it in all this. It's like, dude, you're a Patriot fan.
He's a Tommy fan.
I don't like people when they turn coat. It's like, stick with your team. It's more rewarding, not just complacency of winning all these Super Bowls, one after the other. Then when they start losing, I'm just going to jump ship, So that one kind of upset me. But anyway, just I wanted to ask you a question. See, now the football team has to play out of the state. Or the Lobo basketball team, I don't know nothing about this. And the Aggies, they played last night, but did they have to play out of state basketball? How does that work? It's a non-contact sport?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Aggies are in Arizona. The Aggie men are in Phoenix. The women are in Tucson. Lobo men are outside of Lubbock. The women are in Amarillo. They will not play in the state as of now. And neither one of them. So the Aggies are going to play on Friday against Arizona Christian on the road. And as of now, there's no games being played here, no practices being allowed in this state. That's correct.
Well, and I'm behind Rudy 100% what he talks about the governor. But anyway, that's total dismal and betrayal. And and he's right. I mean, revenue could come here, stay at the hotels here. The teams would come in here.
That's what Danny was saying.
And it's just not like you're going to catch it automatically. I've been lucky. I have to go fight it tomorrow, but that's just the thing. I mean, I pray to God. I do everything I can, all this stuff to go through. And luckily, I got a little store down the road. But I sure hope you guys don't get caught up in a crowd. And I would be heartbroken if something happened to any of you.
We're good, man. We're good. All right. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy Thanksgiving. Lance called at 246-0610. Marty, good morning. You're up next on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Marty.
Good morning. Hopefully I can get through this real quick. So I was just pondering revenue for UNM Sports. Well, it's right in our backyard. Since this new news about Netflix growing and expanding, if we could get Netflix to be the sponsor for the New Mexico Bowl, for, over here at UNM Football Stadium, the basketball arena, offer season tickets with half off on Netflix, use the Lobo Suites. You could put a movie in there, show Netflix. You could sell at the pit with Netflix.
Love it.
On and on and on with Netflix, I think would be great for them, for us, the community.
Put them to work.
Maybe you guys could
you're hired.
talk to them and see if you can get it here.
Yeah, thanks, Marty. You're hired.
Netflix, put it everywhere.
It's kind of was the same talk when Facebook moved into Berlin, right? Down in Valencia County was the same talk. And we'll see how obviously those wheels have been put in motion, and we'll just see what it is, how community oriented they want to be. Everybody's going to go after them, right? Everybody's going to be looking at them and saying, hey, what about us? So. Yeah, I like the idea.
The opening drive brought to you by
Netflix. Now, the New Mexico Bowl being owned by ESPN Disney is at a conflict. Disney streaming, Netflix streaming, there might be a competition.
Yo, can we get Baby Yoda at the New Mexico Bowl when we are able to do it in person next time?
Yo, I'll work on that. I'm just working on putting on a game, man. Just working on kicking the ball off. That's all. 505-246-0610.
Captain America.
Ooh. Yeah, give me your list, bro. Just make a list, man. I'm on it.
I'll send it over to you.
Yeah, we get that to me, and I'll get my staff on that as well. Hey, no matter what happens, we are dealing with crime in our city, and whether the election results are verified or not, when they will there be violence? Now you got the holiday season, and you're going to have more going on. You've got packages on your porch. Call IPS to protect what's important to you. International Protective Service. Aaron Jones has put together a staff of highly trained professional security personnel. Many of them former military, many of them former law enforcement. What they do is make our community a safer place. I've trusted IPS for a long time to protect my home. It just gives me peace of mind just to see the vehicles out in front every single day they come by. If you go out of town, and this time of year, maybe you're going out of town, they will watch what's important to you, your home, your business, pick up the mail, the newspaper, roll garbage cans out to the curb and back on garbage day. Give your home, your business that lived in look. Bad guys don't care, man. They just don't care. They just want to steal something and keep it going for them. Protect what's important to you. Call IPS. The number is 505-897-2420. That's 505-897-2420. Or visit them at ipsglobal.com. International Protective Service on a crusade to make our city a better place to live and work.
Caught by Kelsey. He's got the touchdown.
5 NFL games a
Lewis
week.
makes a cut, and Lewis still on his feet. Dorian Lewis is in for a touchdown.
So Davison back to toss it. He's got all day. It's one miss, and he's rolling.
He's got a guy. Can he get it there? Davison to Luke Weissong.
We told you he could spin that
Touchdown.
football, and that was a throw right there. I know he's got the wind at his back, but
Cross with Evans. Evans has that ball stolen. Jeremy Segura.
Forward dribble, spin cycle, up and under move. What a pass, wrap around pass.
Harris. Legate. The long bomb. 3 ball.
Oh, great steal by Quinteros, lays it up and scores.
A little jump step in the.
And look out, here comes Agbayosi. Crawford set. That's blocked. Lansing says, get that out of here. Sister to sister, Marianne Lansing's going to go all the way. Turnaround. Ramos, pump fake, everyone bites. Ramos hits.
Jackson loses it. David Bond back. LAU. Put it down. Dunkalicious. How about it?
Call it as Javi's looking, and he's got a guy wide open, and it's Gay, and he's gonna walk into the end zone. But he did a good job with it. First and goal, it's Chavez to the middle, and Chavez stops.
And Stevens in motion. On the handoff to Mitchell. Look out! Oh, see you later. Take it to the house. Fly. Cardinals fly. To the other side. Provide some protection. And off to Webskowski again. Look out. See you later. Good night. Touchdown. Webskowski. An 8. 2 receivers at the top. Harris has all day. He's going to fire to the end zone. Open man. Touchdown. Wild catch. Not a defender inside. A little bit. Webskowski on the sideline. Hasta mañana. He's off to the races. Touchdown, Clovis.
Albuquerque this afternoon.
34-24. Rancho late in the third. How about this run? Nice play. Dickerman. He's still on his feet. Touchdown, Wolverine.
towards the end zone. It's grabbed. Touchdown. What a play.
And long here for the Storm. Handoff to, we're going to fake the handoff, excuse me. Davidson on the deep ball. He's got some space, and it's caught. Still on his feet. Touchdown, Storm. Wow. Santa Maria.
And so they'll send one deep.
Morning, and we're following it, although really no updates since it started. But if you're just joining us, Dallas Cowboy facility has been shut down as they prepare for their Thursday, Thanksgiving Day showdown with Washington for first place in the NFC East at 4-7. It is being called a non-COVID-related medical emergency with one of their staffers. That's all we know. And Mike, I know you've been looking. These guys at Prov, you've been looking up other stuff on their phones, but I know you've been looking for any update, and I haven't seen one of you.
So far nothing. Just McCarthy's press conference canceled and media availability for the players canceled. So that's all.
All right. So we'll watch that and get you as much as we can, and certainly that's going to be something to follow as the day goes on. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Mike is producing on the radio side. Jay Pull and Alden back at ProView Ranch. Omar's in on the Dallas Cowboys Washington game, Texas Stadium, Thanksgiving Day, first place, NFC title or NFC East on the line. If those things don't get you excited, Jeff, you don't have a pulse. I mean, I'm working on it. It's good because there's football. So what's the first game? The late game is the Ravens and Steelers. Who do the Lions play this year?
The Texans.
Oh, yeah, buddy. What? All right. Lions will win that game.
Need a couple minutes to recover from the break, so you might just have to take the rest of this segment.
All right, I'm on. I've been there before. Deutsch says Jeff. Jeff, just Jeff it. You know we got to Jeff it. We'll be listening to the OD today with Micah and JJ. So Jeff it. Yeah, we did that. Let's see. Bad Street says holding the New Mexico Bowl is unpatriotic, Jeff. Is that the best OD line since a frustrated Hurricane Michael called in and said the New Mexico Bowl was socialism? Yeah, that was actually pretty good. That was a good day. Lancer is the OD answer, says Bad Street. Lancer doesn't ruin Thanksgiving. Lancer is the main course. All right, that's what I got for you on the email machine. You could probably be a little bit better than that. Lobos, Utah State on Thanksgiving evening. So we had a little issue. But Audra solved it. How about this? So she's making Thanksgiving. It's just going to be the two of us, Addie's with her mom. She's a Steeler fan. And I said, well, we got a little conflict on Thursday evening because, I got to watch the Lobo game and the Steelers and Ravens on. She's like, well, what time are the Lobos on? And she was actually really cool about it. And so I said, I'll get it to you. I don't know. So last night, one's at 5 and one's at 6:20. I said, we can come over here and we split screen. And she's like, oh, no. I'll just bring in the TV and we'll put the two TVs side by side. And I'm like,
well, which audio?
God bless that woman. That's she can put on whatever audio she wants. Like we can put on her audio. I'm down with that. But instead of what are we going to watch on Thanksgiving night or what? No, she's making dinner, and we'll watch football day. And then she's putting two football screens in front of me in the evening. Like God bless that woman.
Happy Thanksgiving. That's what it's all about.
Right.
The day of football. And now, actually, Trey Hall jumped on right after Danny Gonzalez.
Yeah, I had a bounce
yesterday, and I asked him, I'm like, all right, I know it's difficult. You guys are away, don't get to be with family, but what do you think of the opportunity to play on Thanksgiving? And he said he is really excited because what do? You remember on Thanksgiving you eat with your family and you watch football. And while I get it, the NFL is what we're used to. This is still a national game. Fox Sports 1. Thursday evening at 5, kind of in that window between games, that if people are looking for football, and going to dabble in some college football. And this is, a national stage, a showcase game for the Lobos on Thursday evening.
Let me just tell you something. TV window's a big deal. And that's why so many of these game times are dictated by TV window. With the New Mexico Bowl, I've wanted that Saturday afternoon for years, right? It's been important. This year, being such an odd year, the fact that the New Mexico Bowl, assuming everything goes off well, is on Christmas Eve and is the only, JJ, I think it's the only sporting event on Christmas Eve, that whole day. Like the NBA, I remember when I used to do TV sports and I would work Christmas Eve because at that point I was single and I was home and whatever, let everybody have the time off, I'll take another day. There was nothing. There was no basketball games, no hockey games, and nobody plays on Christmas Eve. Now people play Christmas Day. So I haven't seen the NBA schedule yet because it's not out. But as far as I know, I think we're the only sporting event. I know we're the only bowl game scheduled for that day, which people will watch. People are going to, Christmas Eve, people are going to put the game on back east. It's scheduled to be 3:30 to 6:30, 7 o'clock window. As people are wrapping gifts or doing whatever, guys are home, and while their wives are out doing their last minute shopping or whatever, people will have the game on. TV window's a big, big deal. And I agree with you on this. I think, people will flip over and watch the Lobos in Utah State, and you got an opportunity. And Trey Hall's got a great opportunity. It's a winnable game. And it sounds like he's going to be the starting quarterback, because I agree with you, JJ. The feeling I got from Danny was he didn't think Tavaka was going to be ready.
Yeah. Not yet cleared to take the field. And I think they're confident enough that even in a short week, even if he got 2 to 3 sessions in, they'd go right back to their starting quarterback. But right now it's all about health, and he hasn't gotten that clearance from the doctors.
Yep. All right, keep them coming. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Got some more emails that I need to get to you. I want to wrap things up with getting you the latest on the Cowboys situation. I know Micah's looking hard at that, and we'll get you the latest information on that. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah J. Paul, Alden, who gave me an applause. Actually, didn't give it to me, gave it to Audra. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
And returnable at the 2. Usually Volcano do either a reverse or a fake reverse, and here it is a reverse. And a move to the outside. There is a lane. Look out! Shot out of a cannon. Rodriguez is going to take it all the way.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Lovato driving. They're going to count it. Gallegos. Ooh, a little spin and a finish. Here's Natalia Chavez. Good spin. Takes it. Here's Ramos. Nice jump stop to the.
Maybe gambling a little bit. Oh, there's a
Hill, little step, high window, and
Got the second.
To the middle. Here we go. 3.9. It's Cooper's going to run with it. Cooper's going to swing it out to Lowry. Lowry.
Portillo couldn't get it off, and Clovis.
He goes in.
It's waved off. He did not get it off in time. Portillo.
reverse layup. Gallegos spins. Window finishes.
There's a run coming
Lazy pass. Here comes Crawford. It might be showtime. Dang.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Two to shoot. They'll get one off, and it'll count high off the window.
Oh my gosh.
There's a long three.
Boom.
Bang. Martinez will beat the buzzer. Got it to go.
Ford driving kick. Three's in the air. It's good.
Nice pass on the nice block by Hernandez Crawford.
And Brown in the transition. But why not, Steve? Is Corbalan's going to go and he puts it away. And Corbalan wants to put it down. But here comes Las Cruces. Brown, you can't leave him alone. Put it down.
Gershon in transition. 3-on-2. Gershon going to go all the way. Whoa, Morgan.
Moreno extra pass. And Watson. Out with it, Gallegos, and he's going to run all the way. Window, yes! Able to get out of it. How did he find Battle? It's to Cunningham, and it...
Joining us, Cowboys facility has been closed this morning, a non-COVID medical emergency with a staffer. That's what we knew. What have you found?
So Lance Lenore Jr., a former Cowboys wide receiver, tweeted 30 minutes ago when all this went down, prayers for Coach Marcus. And that could be speculation to Coach Marcus Paul, who is the strength and conditioning coach for the Cowboys.
All right, but we don't know what happened, what it is. It's just...
No.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what we've got. And as soon as we know more, and we'll obviously they'll follow it this afternoon, and they'll have it for you on the sports bar this afternoon. Jim Rum will be on it after us. 505-246-0610 if you still want to get in. JJ, one thing we haven't talked about in regards to Lobo football is weather. In Logan. It's going to be a 5 o'clock kickoff, so it will be dark. It's supposed to snow on Wednesday night, 40% chance of snow on Wednesday, and then it's going to clear up. So no precip, but the low on Thursday night will be about 16 degrees. So the high is 36 when the sun goes down. So it's going to probably be right about 28, 25 degrees at kickoff time, and it is going to be cold up there. I don't know how that affects you. Oh, well, they practice in it up in Logan. I don't know. Bottom line is, how are these guys going to respond to the cold?
You're going to have to think back to a couple of those early morning workouts back in the spring. When before the weather really changed, they had them out there at 5 a.m., a couple snow flurries. It's still going to be colder than that. in Logan, Utah, and you just got to be ready. And this is something that, Danny Gonzalez is going to love. He's all about embracing every difficult thing that comes your way. And if it could be colder, he'd say, heck, let's have it be colder to play this football game, because the one thing you don't want to do when it's cold is get hit.
It hurts, man. Getting hit hurts. And cold, look, it's a mindset, and Danny loves tough guy football, right? He talked about, we have all these little heaters over on the side.
He'll probably just go around and just unplug them. Be like, I don't know what happened, everybody.
Yeah, no heaters. You didn't earn the heaters. You didn't. They're tougher than you. You didn't earn them. Right, I can see it. Terry says, highlights from last night, Cooper Kupp is a stud. Tampa defense made Goff the second coming of Aaron Rodgers, jumping offside with the hard count. James White or Kevin Falk aren't coming out of the locker room to catch those swing passes for Brady. Kansas City's only a 3-point favorite against Tampa Brady this week. Suckers bet, maybe? It's from Terry. James White may be the most underrated piece of Tom Brady's success in the last decade. Do you agree with that?
Yes, especially go back to the Falcons Super Bowl. He played a huge role in the second half. Of course, Julian Edelman's ridiculous catch is the first highlight you go to from that game. But James White had a very good performance in the second half, always reliable in that check down game. It looked like they were kind of getting there with Leonard Fournette, but he's not as reliable in the passing game. And I think, Tampa Bay, even looking forward, that should be a close game. That should be a tight game. The Chiefs just won by 4 on Sunday night, and you think that Tampa Bay is a better team than the Raiders, and I think it's going to be fun to watch how this defense can play in Tampa Bay against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, 3 seems light, doesn't it? But again, this could be one of those typical Tommy games where you count him for dead, and it coming off of a little bit of an egg. And I don't think this was a debacle for him. I know people are losing their mind how he was horrible last. I don't know that he was horrible. He wasn't very good, but I've seen worse Tommy before. But how he comes back and has a pretty good game, and a game that you don't think they're going to win the next time out. I haven't seen. I mean, I don't know. Kansas City is really good. Where's that game? I'm going to assume it's in Kansas City, right? I just don't. I don't know, man. I think Kansas City beats them by double digits.
That is in Tampa Bay.
It's in Tampa Bay.
No, I don't. I'm not thinking. This doesn't feel like a double-digit game to me. I'm all in on Kansas City. I still think they're the best team in the AFC because of that offense, but I don't see them going in to Tampa and winning comfortably.
Okay.
3, I think touchdown.
3 feels right to you?
Yeah.
If you had to bet the game.
If I had to bet the game, I'd take Kansas City because I think they win by 4-7. But I don't think, this is a 14, 17-point game for Kansas City.
Yeah, I think it's a little light, and I think it'll probably be bet up. I like Tommy this week, though. I think Tommy has a good week. First of all, I think Kansas City's defense is good, but not as good as the Rams. And I think this is a really good bounce back for him. And I think this is one of your typical times where, Tommy's out, where he's getting old. Did you see what happened to him on national TV? And this wasn't even that bad. I mean, the bad one was 2 weeks ago when the Saints just drubbed him? When was that? 3 weeks ago? Then that was coming off of the week where they destroyed. Who did they beat that they looked so good? Remember, Tampa Bay came off a win, and we're like, oh, look what they did. And then, no.
So it went. They had the 2-point win against the Giants on Monday Night Football.
Okay.
They came back the next week, lost 38-3 to the Saints, and then beat the Panthers 46-23.
What was the game before the Giants?
45-20 over the Raiders.
That was the one where you're like, oh, look at that, man. They look so good.
And then they had they beat down the Packers. They had the game where they beat down.
And that was
38-10 game.
Yeah, I think that was the one where you said, okay, look at their defense is real. They shut down Aaron Rodgers. Look what Tommy does. Oh, he's got Gronk, and Antonio Brown's coming. By the way, they really tried to use Antonio Brown quite a bit in their first half yesterday, didn't they? Then when it came down to it, he went to Evans and Godwin and Gronk.
Tommy likes Antonio. There's just something about it. He's been a big fan of him. They've somehow are BFFs now. That's Rob Gronkowski is the old one. All right, put him in the shed. Maybe every once in a while throw it to him in the red zone. But there's something Tom Brady likes himself, Antonio Brown, and got him involved early. Mm-hmm. And it even goes back to maybe butting heads a little bit with Bruce Arians, who, as of what was it last week, coming in saying you need more Mike Evans. Mike Evans is open.
Yeah. All right, good stuff, boys and girls. Thanks to Brandon Mason. He was with us today. Jim Rome Show is next. Dan Patrick Show's after that. The Sports Bar with Trulio and Carlisle comes your way this afternoon at 3. We get Lobo Talk today. Micah, is that on your schedule for today? With a Thursday game or?
Wednesday.
That's tomorrow. All right, well, we'll see how that plays out. Good job, Micah, and thanks for getting us up to date on the current events. Great job for the ProView staff. Alden, J. Pole, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. JJ, enjoy the day.
Have a day, Al.
We'll be back tomorrow morning with more award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. Smell you tomorrow.